he's going to have a drink. So, yes.
That would be nice.
Appreciate it. Back to the roots. You're a legend.
He's a brave and a decent man. He's a pioneer.
Thank you, man. Appreciate it. So Nick is get me the small one, not the big champagne bottle. If somebody sends in the second one, we'll pop we have a gigantic champagne bottle. So we'll do that one. Really appreciate it, man. Thank you for the champagne pop. Big $1,000, man. You're a legend. Thank you, dude.
Big one. Go big.
Let's get cups. Can we get?
1,000.
No. Those are for me. I want the white ones. I'm very selective about the champagne, the cups.
Likes the white
Cups
ones.
you share with your champagne.
They get the poverty cups from here on. No, I'm kidding. Here, Maddie, you get this going.
Raise your hand if you want.
Can I get a towel, please?
Are you?
All right. Well, I think she's the only one who's not 21, so
Force from us.
we'll
We
do
have
this.
a question back to you, Lauren. So, and going back, it's like really intriguing for me to hear all that. And like, so question on it, like, you're gonna wait 2 months if it does come down to that. Like, how would you know what it feels like if you've never felt like that before? And if so, what do you think it would feel like if you did come across it?
I feel like I think it's just something that you know. I know myself really well. I feel like I would just know if someone was for me in that way. And yeah, I feel like just lead with that. I mean, like I said, I'm very like intuitive person, so I feel like across the board, like I just know if something's for me or not. I move pretty quickly.
Do you ever get horny?
That's what I was going to ask. I was wondering, do you
Yeah,
have
for
any?
sure.
Do you have sexual thoughts?
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, I'm not like completely like devoid of that. Yeah, no, for sure.
Okay.
Yeah.
So like, is it like, when you say you do get horny,
Yeah.
like, is it self-pleasure?
Yeah.
Or is it, okay.
Yeah.
Do you like
Wait,
watch
are you-
videos and stuff?
No, not really. Not
So
really.
it's just like all in the mind?
Yeah, basically.
Okay,
yeah.
cool.
Do you
Yeah.
read books? Do you read romantic novels?
I
It
can
can get
dabble
pretty
with a little novel or erotica, I guess. Yeah.
So not being sexually active or not being in that area, what are some fantasies that you would say pop up into your head to make your like self?
Oh, honestly, I'm like super vanilla with that. I feel like I don't really have anything too crazy. I feel like literally it's basically just like picturing being with someone who you are into, who's into you, who cares about you, who wants to protect you. Like very vanilla, nothing like crazy at all. Very
So
like,
what are your standards exactly?
my standards? Well, I would say the first standard is first and foremost, again, the energetic connection that you would feel with someone. Without that, I feel like nothing else matters. It's knowing that someone is, it's just a knowing that someone is for you. And then on top of that, I would say there's other non-negotiables for me as well.
Here, let's do a quick cheers.
Cheers to my water.
Cheers to Roots. Salud.
Yay.
Salud.
Cheers.
Cheers.
Andrew's taking a shot.
Andrew's taking a shot. There we go.
Yes,
That's a
Andrew.
double shot,
Down
by
it.
the way. What a legend. So, okay,
yes.
what are your, because, so what are your standards exactly? You said energetic connection.
Well, it has to be the connection first and foremost, 100%. I feel like without that, nothing else matters because you could put like the most conventionally attractive person in front of me, millionaire, and if I don't feel it with someone, I'm not gonna pursue that. However, other non-negotiables outside of that are going to be wealth and status are important to me.
Sure.
100%. I would say someone who is masculine and dominant, but also can balance and temper that, and isn't an extreme, complete macho thing happening. I would say someone who has depth to them, someone who is maybe more, a little bit, has at least some like spirituality. I don't want anything, again, too extreme, but that has to have depth to them, intelligent, great sense of humor. Definitely more conservative for sure. Has to like guns. I like guns. And also someone who stands up for what they believe in. I won't specifically say the word, but didn't get the
Okay,
injunction.
we get it.
Yeah.
Well, can I ask a follow-up here? I'm just curious about, because of this motivation of essentially just not really having much attraction to men and things like this, let's assume for a second that you kind of did meet Mr. Perfect who fit all of the quality criteria that you have, right? The qualities and criteria. The physical aspect of a relationship for men is extremely important. Do you think that he would think that there's a good possibility that even if you married him and this and that there would be trouble in that department because of this kind of like asexuality which you have?
I don't think so, because if I were to be in a relationship, I think you could assume that I wouldn't have a problem with someone. I wouldn't have a problem having sex with someone that I was dating because I would have already kind of cleared that. Like I wouldn't date someone that I wasn't not going to have a relationship with or a sexual relationship with.
Yeah, I'm talking from their perspective.
Do I think that they would question my
That
choices?
they would assume that there's a good possibility that if you've waited this long and it was not for the sake of like a virtue-based chastity, but rather through kind of like almost a social awkwardness, if you will. And I know I'm paraphrasing this incorrectly. I'm not trying to do that, or I'm just trying to. There's no good way for me to put it into words
all right,
without
yeah.
it seeming offensive, right? But I'm not trying to be offensive.
No
but
worries.
based along kind of the idea of the social awkwardness rather than the ideal of virtue, don't you think that it could be apparent to many men, even if they were wanting a virgin, that they may want to rule you out as there's a good possibility that due to these kind of standards that you have and the asexuality which you present, that you may not be good for their physical needs? Does that kind of follow?
Yeah, I mean, it's definitely possible that that would be an issue for a man, for sure. I would say, like, in terms of the asexuality thing, it's not really a label that I personally lead with. I feel like it's just not something, I used to say that I was asexual, it's just not something that I personally resonate with as much anymore, despite having the infrequent attraction. I think that's really the only thing that kind of lingers for me with the asexual label. But yeah, I mean, I totally think it's fair that someone would be skeptical and question, you know, if I'm not doing it for virtue purposes. Although I do think
Well,
it is
and the
virtuous.
reason I say that for virtue purposes is we assume that the pleasures of the flesh are things that men and women both want, and I think they are, right?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I don't think most of the women here would disagree with that, or most of the men who are watching would disagree with that. And where the virtue comes in is that you're denying yourself that pleasure, right? But you definitely want it, and you seek it, and it's definitely something that that you would prefer to have if you could. And so it's denying yourself this that is the kind of virtuous aspect of this, and leads a person to value chastity as a virtue, right? That's kind of what the principle is. But it's just being avoided because of, like, due to social awkwardness and you know, what you would kind of say is a limited form of asexuality. Wouldn't a man almost see that as a red flag, I guess?
Sure, yeah, they totally could. I mean, I would debate you on the social awkwardness. I don't feel that I'm a socially awkward person. I understand that you're just trying to find the right word for it, and it's not an easy thing
Well, in
to
this
say.
department, it would be
Yeah.
socially awkward, right?
Sure,
Like,
but
for instance, men who you would ordinarily be attracted to who approach you,
Mm-hmm.
that's going to be a socially awkward situation, right? Because you're like, well, I just don't have attraction for any men. I'm not kidding. It's not you, really. It's just I just really don't find many men attractive. That's got to be socially awkward, right?
No, I hear you. I feel like I don't straight up say that. I would just say, like, I'm not interested. I keep it pretty low key. But I mean, yeah, of course it's uncomfortable to reject someone, but I don't feel that I'm awkward about it. I think I have a pretty good way of doing things that aren't that way.
Okay.
So-
All right. Well, thanks for answering my questions. I appreciate it.
Yeah, of course. Thank you.
Did you finish all your standards?
Did I? I don't know. Let's see. What else do we have?
It was pretty long.
Yeah, that was a lot. Obviously, physically attractive to me. Again, I kind of already mentioned that with the energetic connection. To me, those things go hand in hand. I said sense of humor. I said loves adventures, travel. I'm a very, you know,
Physically?
adventures.
No, physically. Like, what are your...
Oh, physically speaking, I would say tan. I'm very white. Obviously, I like tan skin. Definitely on the taller side for sure. And a classic answer there. I would say, like, naturally good looking, kind of like the rugged good looks. I like someone in their 40s, preferably a little older than me. I would say like 7 to 12, 13 years older than me. Oh, sorry. Wait, hold on. 7. I'm 34. I am 34. I would like to date someone who's like between 40, 45.
Wait a second. Somebody's telling me that you have an OnlyFans account. Is that correct?
No, that is not correct. I do
That is not correct.
That is not correct. I'm very anti-OF. I do not have an OnlyFans account. But nice try,
Okay.
everyone, whoever said that. Nice try.
Yeah. I'm not making any out.
No,
I'm
no.
just saying that this is being stated, so I want to clarify.
Well, I mean, that's because, to be fair, a lot of girls who have OnlyFans will claim that they're a virgin to direct, you know, the audience to their OnlyFans.
So you don't have an OnlyFans.
I
Okay,
do not
so
have OnlyFans. Thank you.
you want to date a guy who's between 40 and 45.
Preferably, yes.
Okay. So you wouldn't. Now, just to be clear, how stringent are these? Because you're 34, you wouldn't date a 37-year-old.
Oh, yeah. I mean, that's fair. I just prefer, I like a little bit older. Just
Okay.
A little bit older.
And you said that height. So how tall are you?
I'm 5'2".
What you said you?
How tall would I?
Yes.
5'10", to like 6'3".
It's like Build-A-Bear.
Yeah, just building boyfriends.
Now you also said that I don't know if you specifically said money. Did you say money and status is very important to you?
I said wealth and status,
Wealth.
yes.
Okay.
Yes.
When we're talking about wealth, what are we talking about here?
Millions?
Okay, so let's break it down like this. So you said would you date somebody between the age of 35 and 45?
Yes.
Okay.
35.
So this is, I'm assuming here that this person is not retired yet. They're still working.
Yeah, I guess.
Okay. What's their yearly income?
Oh man, I don't know.
Millions.
Yeah, millions, Brian. I don't know. I honestly don't know. I'm not like.
Well,
I don't-
hold on, but I mean, you're very selective. You have very high standards. So I think you do know.
I really, I mean, when I said millions, I thought that was kind of,
Well, his net worth is millions, or he's making millions of dollars a year.
oh, that's a fair question. I mean, preferably making millions of dollars a year.
Okay.
And now
well,
I'd like to point out, Brian, did you notice that inside these preferences, she never actually mentioned the man's body count?
Yeah, I'm happy to clear that up. I actually don't want to. I wouldn't want to be with a virgin personally. Just not my preference. I think one of us has to know what we're doing, and I would kind of prefer that you know. someone
well,
already
so
knows.
going back to the money though,
Yes, Brian.
what is the bare minimum that a guy would have to earn to a year to date you?
Oh wow. I haven't thought about that, to be honest.
Well, I mean, you have thought about it. You said wealthy.
Right, wealthy, but I haven't quantified it in terms of a number.
We'll do it right now.
Okay.
Do it right now.
Alrighty. I don't know.
6 figures, 7 figures.
Yeah, seven. You know what? Let's just say 7 figures, because I'm not gonna say like 200 million. I don't know. I'm just gonna say
So wait,
7 figures.
okay. So should we say bare minimum $1 million a year?
Yeah. Yes.
Bare minimum.
Sure.
Okay.
Yep.
And then you said status is important too.
Mm-hmm.
So what does that mean?
That to me means someone who is successful, maybe someone who is well known in their fields. Someone who's well known probably, who has connections, and that to me is status. Maybe
Okay.
like a little fame. I don't know. Nothing too crazy, but
Okay.
I have a question for her. If
Yes, I thought it was an important point to bring back. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off. I'm almost on my inquiry.
Thank you. No, I was just wondering, like, do you want children and a family? And also, do you feel that you have, like, an expiration date or year to accomplish that, if that is one of your goals?
that's a good question. So I actually am untraditional in the sense that I don't want to get married. I don't want to have kids. I would do a long-term relationship, committed long-term relationship, but I don't want to be legally married to anyone.
And you don't want kids?
And I don't want kids.
Wow.
Yeah.
So it's often stated on this podcast and many others where men investigate the various dating phenomena between men and women that women seem to not care very much about the body count of men, and men seem to care very much about the body count of women. They view it very differently. But aren't you making kind of the greatest case for that in the world, that here you are with a 0 body count, and your statement is, I don't give a shit about the body count of the man. In fact, I would prefer that he had some bodies under his belt so he knew what he was doing.
Yeah, that's totally fair. I do think a lot of the time when you're a virgin, people would assume that you would also want to be with another virgin. I think that's a fair assumption to make. But yeah, personally, I don't want to be.
Well, that's not really my assumption. My assumption is that if you're a man who's a virgin, you'd prefer a virgin. And if you're a man who wasn't a virgin, you'd prefer a virgin. But that if you're a female who's a virgin, you don't really fucking care. It's not
Right.
an important aspect to women, whether or not men are virgins or not. That would be kind of my position on that.
Yeah, 100%. I definitely agree with that. I think I've kind of learned that from watching, even like podcasts like this. I feel like that does resonate with me. That does make sense. I feel like that is true for me as well. So yeah, for sure.
Okay.
Andrew, I have a comment or a question about the body count thing. I don't care how. I think it's like crude to talk about that. I don't know why people these days like talk about that. I would never ask a guy that.
Because it's extremely important when it comes to dating.
I think-
and when you're doing partner selection.
When it's whether you've been with one person or 100 people, I think that's very private. I would never ask somebody that. If somebody talked about that, no matter what the number was, if they were like proud of it or whatever, I don't think I would talk to them because they're talking about it. I
If a
think it's
man
private.
had been prosecuted multiple times for domestic abuse, would you consider that to be something which was pertinent for you to know?
Yes.
How come? It doesn't mean that he's
Because,
going
like, he
to
has a
domestic. Hang on. It doesn't mean that he's going to domestically abuse you. Why do you feel like it's pertinent for you to know that information?
Because it's like informed consent. Like I need to know that that's a potential risk in my
Right.
relationship.
So because it's throwing out red flags for risk, right? Why would
Right.
body count be any different than that?
Because are you talking about risk as far as STD? Because there could be
Not just
safe sex
STDs,
or,
but
okay.
there's all sorts of other risks which come with it. For instance, if 2 virgins get married, the chances that they'll stay married are really, really, really good. Really good. And when it comes to women who are highly promiscuous, who have more than 20 partners, the chances that they're going to stay with their significant other, really, really, really bad. So the thing is that as we look at the details here, we're using risk assessment models, right? We're trying to assess risk for the same reason that she would want to disclose to you if a man had been charged and is guilty of domestic abuse, even though that does not prove that he would abuse you. Why would that
True.
then be wrong for a man to want to know the body count of a woman to assess his own risk?
I just don't think I think it's like very like lewd to talk about. I don't like it. I don't think it's.
Yeah, I think that talking about domestic abuse is pretty lewd too, but that would be something that you would want to know about, isn't it?
It would be, yeah, but it's just like that goes into things like like asking about maybe like I don't know. It's just kind of like private. Like some things are private. Like I think your body's private, and if you have an OnlyFans, that's pertinent. But I don't know.
Killer
Well, I
Serial
understand why that'd
donated
be
$200. So if the guy is only 5 feet 11 inches and is only 100,000 air and is an assistant to the CEO but not the CEO himself, he wouldn't butter your biscuit? What would you bring to the man's life?
Oh man.
Your quick response,
My quick
please.
response would be, I can't say unless I'm able to infer connection there. I'm not sure. Not necessarily true. And what do I bring to a man's life? I would say like low body count, decent looking, take care of myself, unproblematic, not a party girl, great personality, easy to get along with, great friends, and yeah, just a good old fashioned girl, no body count. Yeah, good girl.
Well, I'd like to get back to this combo. It was very interesting. I appreciated you bringing that up. So as we kind of dive into this, I understand what you're saying, that having conversations which are uncomfortable are, well, uncomfortable. And I can understand why a woman would want to conceal this information because it's very uncomfortable to talk about this information. But I don't know how you could make a case that it wouldn't be pertinent for a man to be informed about the body count of the woman that he wants to date long term. Why would that not be pertinent information for him to know?
Well, I guess it would really depend on what the man's values are and what he considers pertinent information.
His values
or not.
are he just wants to hump chicks who have a low body count. That's his only value, let's
Okay,
say.
well, a man like that-
Why would that preference in any way be bad in any way?
It's not bad. It's just like I feel like these young, like it's just something that younger people talk about. Like they just talk about it. Like they're like, oh, this is my body count. It's just new. Like people didn't do that when I was growing up. So
Yeah, they did.
It's just
Yes, they did.
I
You're
don't
growing
remember
up
that
around the same-
happening.
Yes, they did. Here's the thing. You're growing up around the same time that I was growing up. And the thing is that we talked about sex all the time.
Yeah.
We talked about which chicks were hoes. We talked about which chicks weren't hoes. You talked about which men were playboys. You talked about which men weren't playboys. This cope of, well, when I was younger, like you're ancient, like you lived 75 years ago, like you lived 100 years ago, like you lived during the Civil War era 200 years ago. It's all pure cope, right? You were growing up, what, at the latest in the 90s? You think we weren't talking about sex in the
I
90s?
didn't say not
It's the most
talking about the
ridiculous- hang on,
sex.
hang on.
I just
That
don't
is the most ridiculous thing that I've ever
No,
heard.
I didn't
All we
say
talked
that.
about in the 90s was sex.
Yes, but I said like I don't remember this specific thing about like talking about like a body count, like that being a phrase.
Of course you did. Of course you did.
And
What
I
do
was
you
in a
think
relationship
hoe-
from 18
what does
to
hoe
30,
mean?
so-
What does hoe? She's a hoe. What does that mean?
Yeah,
Does
but
that
you're
mean
not
she has a
attaching-
really low body count, or?
Yeah, but you're not. It's just a different verbiage, I guess.
Yeah, but it's saying the same exact thing. You're saying that chick has slept with way more dudes than I'm comfortable with. You're saying the same exact thing, right?
Yeah, but you kind of just like know that about like people in the neighborhood or whatever. You don't like write it down on an application, like your number, like your last name, like your social security number. That's what I'm talking about. It's just kind of
Oh,
weird.
so your objection is that people are more precise with it? So they're like, instead of you just slandering me with a generalization, you want to actually know the details of it so that I can give a possible defense of myself? That seems to me to be absurd, right? That seems counterintuitive. That like the precision of it is the objection, not the fact that you did indeed used to talk about it all the time. And let's be real. You and your girlfriends in the 90s, you talked about the promiscuous girls on the block, and you
Yeah.
talked about the playboys who were around.
For
Let's
sure.
not kid ourselves.
For sure.
Yeah.
But yeah,
Yeah.
it wasn't like, oh, did you hear John has slept with exactly 17 and a half people or something like that? Like it was just weird.
No, it's just implied. So I mean, it's just like it's just for some reason for you going around the edges of the thing is more important than the thing itself. It's like, okay, so John has slept with a lot of chicks. We understand that,
Yeah.
right? Your
Yeah.
only objection is the precision with how many chicks he slept with. That seems totally counterintuitive to me. It seems like that
Yeah.
would be the information you would want to know
Okay.
more than the generalization.
Well, to me, it's kind of like saying, okay, John has slept with 17 and a half people. And that's like saying like, okay, John has a
how do
big
you
dick.
how do you sleep with a half a person? I
I don't know.
If they're
I'm just saying it's weird for a number, but I'm just saying.
Are we at a magic show?
Okay. Saying like, that's the difference between saying John slept with a lot of people, or we know he's a hoe, and the exact number, versus like John has a big dick, and then like going into detail, like describing specific things about it. I guess that's my court, like, you
then
know,
what
you
makes
could
a
just
hoe?
do one thing. You don't need to like go into
People have very specific
Minutia about it.
preferences. Well,
Yeah.
they have very specific preferences about the things that
Right,
they
sure.
want. And in modernity, because there's such a small pool which fits the preferences of so many people, I think they just don't want to waste time. And so they're like, can we just get to the nitty gritty? And instead of us using kind of the generalizations and innuendo and the slander and this and that, they're just upfront, right? There's like, look, lady, how many dudes have you fucked, right? And what they want to know from that, the information that they want to know from that is, are you going to be a good partner for me or are you not going to be a good partner for me? It just seems like a great way to just not beat around the bush and not bullshit, right?
Would you not agree that there are many other factors that play into what defines a good partner or not?
Absolutely. I would say that that the scope of what we're talking about here is so broad, and we're taking into account billions of people's individual preferences and this type of thing. But I'm going to caveat this with, there are general truths that seem to trend across the board for men and women when it comes to preferences. I'll give you a really basic one. Women tend to like men who are taller than them. In fact, let's just get a show of hands right here. How many women right here at this table prefer that their men are taller than them? All of them, right? Every single one of them, including you, right?
Yeah.
So now we have a kind of these universals which go in too. Now, if you were to insert men into every seat that you're in right now, and I said, how many of you would prefer that your women had slept with less than 3 men? How many of them do you think would raise their hand?
Okay, yeah, I totally
Hang
see
on,
that.
hang on. Answer the question first.
All
and
of
then give me
them.
the qualifier.
All of them,
All of them.
100%.
All of them. All of them. So we
Yeah,
have some
I get
universals
that.
here, right? We have some universals.
I get that, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, that's all I'm saying. So it's like, so I want to address the point specifically, but yeah, go ahead.
No, I think that's it. I don't have anything else to say about it.
Oh, okay.
You said it was crude though to like.
Yeah,
So if
yeah,
a
do
guy
you know
were
what
to
I
ask you
mean?
that on the first date, would that be?
Yeah, that's like, I wouldn't ask him to see his bank statement or like, I think there's
You'd
so
ask him
many.
his job.
Yeah, I guess I would. That's normal conversation. But for me, what's more important is like political values, family values, like that for me. Like I was in a 2-year relationship. We broke up because we ended up like, it was during, a certain period of time
So,
recently.
but what would actually be wrong if this was a deal breaker for a guy and this would conceivably save him and you time? What would
if
actually be?
that's a deal breaker for him, then he should for sure proceed with the question and then.
Now the question
you know
is
what I mean?
though, would it be a deal breaker for you that he even asked it?
Well, that's what I was kind of trying to say is like even not asking, but people are just I've seen people like post like just like about their body count or talk about it, and in a not dating situation, like just in a public situation, and I just think that's kind of like I don't think I would be inclined to want to talk to somebody who thought that was like a neat topic to like talk about. It's kind of private.
I think I again, I understand the social taboo nature of the thing that you're kind of appealing to here, but I think, what I think? I think that men, the more men I talk to, I get this kind of belief more reinforced. I think that if a woman, let's say she had a really high body count, if she sat down on her first date with a man and she said, look, I fucked a lot of things up in my life, including the fact that I slept with way more dudes than I should have, right? And I'm not going to do this anymore. And I'm going to be a good wife for the man who I end up marrying. And I fucked this all up, okay? I think that men would have 20 times more respect for those women.
I agree.
Than the ones who go, none of your business, it's not your concern, and they beat around the edges and this and that. I think if they were just direct and said, look, I fucked it all up, but I'm ready to unfuck it all. I think most men would be like, all right.
Oh, no, I totally agree. I mean, I can't disagree with that statement. I think that's totally true. I think people can change a lot. I've certainly changed a lot from like 18 to now.
Thank you, Josh. Go ahead. Continue.
Do you know why men would respond better to that? Do you know why that is?
Yeah, because it's honesty and
No, it's not because it's honesty.
Accountability?
It's because it's a sign of accountability.
Oh, there you go.
It's a sign of accountability. It's a sign of you saying, I can recognize when I make horrible mistakes and I can correct them so that those mistakes never happen again. And it's so rare for men, at least the ones that I've talked to actually run into women who take accountability for anything. And that, I think, is why you earn this really key note of respect. You would actually earn respect with the honesty rather than I have to find out later and all this bullshit. You know what I mean?
Yeah, and I don't think it's something that you shouldn't talk about in a relationship. I just, just the like bluntness of it, I guess, right away is just kind of.
I think I know what you're saying. Like,
You know
I
what I
think when
mean?
you go on a date, like, I like can go on like countless dates, but like never it occurred to me like a guy would be like, oh yeah, by the way, what's your body count? Like, there's a
that's like, I just
conversation
don't
where there's
remember
gonna
that.
be like, what is your dating history or
Right,
like background look
right,
like? It's not gonna be
right.
bluntly like,
Yeah.
how many people have you fucked?
Yeah, I
So
don't like
No,
that. I
really?
just don't like.
So you never sat down on a date and asked, well, how much money do you make? What do you
I've
do
never
for a
asked
living?
that.
I feel like that goes in like with certain.
No,
dates, like,
you might beat around the bush, but what you're asking is how much money do you make? When you ask, what is your career? What is your career trajectory? What are the things that what are your goals? What are your aspirations? You're asking the question of what is the monetary value that you are bringing to the table? Because that's within the line of your preference, and I think that that's fine. But then to say, well, to men, they can't also move towards their preference and be like, well, how many dudes have you fucked, right? Like, how many? Just be honest with it. Why is that such a taboo for women other than they want to avoid accountability?
I don't. For me personally, I also don't really. Money isn't a top value for me in my compatibility with the man, so I would ask those kind of.
Yeah, really?
For
You
like,
gonna
let me
date a
see
homeless
what's
guy?
your wallet. Like,
You
let
gonna
me
date
see
a
how
homeless
much
guy?
you're making.
Wouldn't date.
You gonna date a homeless guy in a box who lives out of his car?
Because of hygiene issues, probably not. But I
No,
mean,
he has
you don't
great
have-
hygiene.
I'm
He
not
just
going to
has
be like
$0
Lauren over
and you're
here.
gonna have to support him forever.
Wealth and status are not on my top 5 priority list. That's fair.
Really? So just so I get this clear, a homeless guy has really good hygiene. You'd be willing to take care of him forever?
No, I didn't say that. I said
No,
wealth.
I didn't say that. So wealth,
Wealth, like
or the
extreme-
ability, the ability to take care of yourself, the ability to make money is on your priority list. It's kind of foolish, in fact, to say that it's not, right? Of course it is.
No, I mean like, you know,
It's just not
$1
high.
million. I don't have a number. Like, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter.
So
what,
you'll date a guy who works at McDonald's?
I think McDonald's is poison, so I probably wouldn't for health reasons.
You don't
Not because of the money, right?
But yeah, I would take like a ranch hand or
$6.77
somebody that was in
an
school.
hour.
Yes,
Risk
100%.
of what they're
Yeah,
doing.
so
Wait.
$6.77
do
an
you-
hour
do you-
worker.
Do you want to get remarried?
I would like to get married, yeah. But I'm really low
Well,
maintenance.
not remarried, but do
yeah.
you want to get married?
I would like to get married.
Wait, you're low maintenance?
Like my monthly income with 3 kids is like, or my monthly expenses are like $2,500.
Okay.
It's really
With
not.
Three kids?
Yeah.
Okay.
Like we're really, my daughters work, like, I don't know, it's
Wait,
just
do you
not
get,
that important to
you
me.
get child support?
I
from-
don't get child support. I never took him to court until recently for some other reason related to my son not liking his girlfriend, but he doesn't
Oh,
pay
okay.
child support.
I see.
And that was just last year, and it's been 8 years since we've been split up. It's really unfortunate that he doesn't. You know, he's just not a great guy, and it's sad.
Okay.
Yeah, I understand that. I just, you know, to kind of, I don't need to belabor the point, but
I've just
do
never
think
been
that
after
if you
someone for
have-
money.
If you have tons of social responsibilities, in this case, 3 children that you have to look after, your maternal instinct is there to look after these children. I assume that you love and adore them, and they are the priority of your life, right?
Yeah.
So if this is the case, then of course, why would you want to get together with a bum or with somebody who would
I didn't say I want
refuse to?
get with a bum, but I don't need to be with the
Right.
CEO, you know?
Well, but you're kind of playing to the 2 extremes, right? So there's a distinction here, though, that we don't need to look at the 2 extremes of you're a bum in the street or a CEO to note that you would still probably prefer a guy who made 6 figures a year. Of course you would. Why wouldn't
Well,
you?
my grandma used to always sound like my grandma. She used to always say you could fall in love with a rich man just as easily as you could fall in love with a poor man. But I don't necessarily find that true. Sometimes I feel like guys with money they have different priorities than me. They care about status, they care about cars, they care about buying me like expensive bags. I don't want that stuff. I really
What do you
don't
want?
like
You
it.
want them to care about you, right?
I want them to care about me. I would rather have like life experiences. I don't have anything fancy. I don't want anything fancy. I think it's a waste
But
of money.
but you realize this creates a double entendre for men. The double entendre it creates is I want a man to be focused on me, care about me, show that he loves and appreciates
Yeah.
me. But all men do that. How do they do that? They
by-
usually do it by saying, okay, well, I'm going to go accumulate an amount of money and wealth, and then I'm going to utilize those resources to take care of you. That's how they show that. How they don't show it is by going, oh, baby, you're the best. You're so gorgeous. You're the best in the world. And I can't wait to spend time watching this gay soap opera with you, right? They don't do it that way.
Yeah.
What
I
they
guess-
do
go ahead.
instead is they focus on the accumulation of resources, and then them sharing those resources with you is how they show that they care a lot about you.
Right, but there's like douchey rich guys, and there's guys that have money that don't act in a douchebag way. So I think that,
Totally agree.
you know what I mean? So
totally agree that
I
that's
wouldn't want
true.
someone who's like flashy, I guess. Like I wouldn't.
I
I could,
do. There's a lot of facades.
Right.
Right. And people be like,
I
oh, I'm
can
not
do this
homeless.
shit.
I make a lot of money. And then they pull up in a hoopy doopy.
Yeah.
And you're like,
there are some things I care about, but then I don't think I would ever put an actual number on how much like I need my person to make when there are other
But
priorities.
I don't think it's necessary for you to put an exact number to note that if they had all of the qualities and additional money on top of all the qualities,
Yeah, it would be nice. It wouldn't hurt. It wouldn't hurt.
Right,
But
it
I'm
wouldn't
not
hurt,
looking
right?
at. I'm
So, I
not
mean,
looking
that's
for
the
it. I'm
point.
not seeking it out.
I feel like you guys are kind of arguing the same point here. I think like the whole point in the body count conversation is to say, like if this man is asking what your body count is, it's not to be like vulgar. It's to see like, okay, if this woman has a high body count, she has some inconsistencies within her dating pattern. So maybe her and I are gonna have a short-lived relationship based on like these frequent people she's sleeping with. But I think it's the same way you would ask like, how many partners have you had in the past? You would ask like, oh, what do you do for work? Because these are like different value sets that people have, right?
But a man would also ask the woman, "What do you do for work?" So I think that's just
Yeah.
general conversation.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. So that would also be within like.
Yeah,
that
but
general
wait, hang on. Yeah, I agree that could be general, general conversation, but that doesn't mean that they're asking each other the same question. Even if it's identically phrased, that doesn't mean they're actually asking each other the same question. They could mean very different things by what they're asking by that question.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, and I guess it's also what your intention is when you're dating somebody. Are you dating to just hook up with somebody? Are you dating to have a short-lived romance? Are you dating to get married? I mean, these are all very different things. So some people, might be entitled to a little bit more information than other people regarding maybe even your job and your income too. Maybe you're just planning on taking this girl out on the boat for a weekend and then not ever talking to her again. So she doesn't really need to know that much about your life. But maybe you want like something more serious with her, so you would, strive to have more deeper conversations.
Well, actually, this is a great segue. So I assume that you would think that it was important if a man, his intention was to just sleep with you and then never talk to you again, that he let you know that that was the case.
That would be great. I don't think guys do that.
That
a
would,
lot.
that would be fantastic, right? Because otherwise, he would be wasting your time, right?
And I think girls should probably do the same thing. Like, hey, I'm just here for a good time, or
Yeah,
hey, I'm
or-
looking
or
for
if
something
you-
more serious. Is there something you want to
Sure,
ask
if you
me,
don't
or
fit my
things
preferences,
you want to
if you don't
talk
fit my
about? Yeah.
preferences, a body count, or if you don't fit my preferences, a body count, you're wasting my time by not disclosing that information. I have to
Yeah,
find it
you,
out
you
later.
guys both have
I would
to
do
have the
same
same.
thing, right?
You have to both have the same preferences, the same intentions, and the same values. If not, it's not a good match. So you should both move on anyways.
Yeah, right. But to my point, right? If you think that it's pertinent for a man to say, listen, look, baby, my plan here is just to take you out of my yacht and we're going to bang and then I'm never going to call you again. right? You would prefer that he was upfront with that. That makes total sense to me why you would prefer that, because you don't want your time wasted by some fuckboy, right? Okay, that's fair
I
enough.
think a lot of times.
But-
Okay, go ahead.
But the flip side of this is, but the same thing's going to apply to a man who's like, look, I really want to know how many dudes you slept with before I pursue this relationship, because otherwise it's a waste of time. Doesn't that make sense to you?
Yeah, it makes sense if the intention for the relationship that they're pursuing with you is more value, like a marriage or engagement or long-term dating. Yeah, I guess that makes sense.
Okay.
But you both have to match on that. Is all I'm
Maddie,
saying.
can you read these?
I feel like a guy asking for a body count on first date is a green flag to me because that shows he's looking for more than a hookup. If he just wanted to F you, he wouldn't bother asking.
Yeah, if he didn't, yeah, I suppose if he didn't care, then
That's fair.
if he wasn't interested in long term.
Not sure that follows.
Yeah.
It could just be that he doesn't want to sleep with a chick who slept with a lot of dudes, even if he has no intention of pursuing a relationship. Like that could also follow.
Yeah, it could be true. But I think a guy who just wants to sleep with a girl once is probably less preoccupied with her body count.
Yeah, I
Generally.
think that would be generally true. I would agree with
Yes. Go ahead, Maddie.
To the girl from Las Vegas, one of the two mayoral candidates, Victoria Seaman, is suing the city of Vegas for the second time. Ladies, raise your hand if she should be elected. #peak feminism.
What?
You're from Vegas. Do you know anything? I don't know anything about
I
this.
have not heard. I don't know if this is like new news.
Okay. Well, none of the women raised their hands, so it sounds like it's a no.
Not familiar with
Stream Rift, thank you for the 100, though. Thank you for bringing Las Vegas local politics into the I appreciate it. Go ahead, Steph.
Andrew, I hope my future husband is as based as you. Thank you for being a great example of healthy masculinity and also for all you do to help with women wake up to degeneracy. Respect and
This
love
is
from Australia.
this is a bot. You can tell by the end of what was being stated here that's a bot.
Kudos to you though, Andrew. You definitely made a great statement when you were like, it'd be weird if somebody asked me about my body count and then not make me feel like patronized about like, oh, why is this your body count? It'd be more like, okay, you're taking accountability. So I see you
Yeah.
and I see what your intentions are. That is major than being like, what is your body count and the body count and the purpose of like, are you a whore or not? Or like, or you like?
Yeah, exactly. Well,
You know what I
exactly.
mean?
So, like, have you noticed, for instance, okay, and I think that this is the kind of be nice culture that women are subjected to from the time that they're little kids inside of public school. But I'll often ask this question, and you seem like you'll probably give me an honest answer to it. Isn't it true that women, when they sit down at a table with other women, all the time this happens, they basically judge the shit out of each other. They nitpick what each other are wearing, they nitpick their hair, they nitpick their makeup. They don't say it out loud, right? But just in their head, they just like nitpick every little detail. And what I'll often see, go ahead, answer it.
Sorry, I was going to answer it because it was a question. But yes and no, I feel like it comes with the women that you hang out with. So like in my friend group, a lot of us are very much more like, you don't compare our friends. And that's something we literally had a discussion about on the way here because it's like, hey, I find it insulting that you're going to be like, well, I think you're the hottest friend in the group. Like, ill first because you're not going to compete with your friends. If you feel like something doesn't look good, then it's
Okay, hang on. Let's untangle two ideas.
Okay.
Out loud, saying those things out loud, sure, absolutely. I'm asking about what goes on in your brain, right?
If it doesn't look good, you better tell me.
In your brain, are you really saying that you sit down with your friend group and never make judgment? Like, come on, really?
Everybody judges.
Everyone
in some
judges.
capacity,
In
yeah.
Yeah, of
some
course, right.
capacity.
But my ultimate point for bringing this up is to tell you that I know that that's true, and you know that that's true. But so often women will kind of lie and be like, no, I never judge anybody. I'm the most
Nobody buys
non-judgmental
that.
person ever. I've never judged any other woman ever. I am the key point of all that is feminism
You were
and
lying.
lady, and I would never, right? I would never do so. And it's like, come on, are you fucking serious? So the thing is like part of what this idea of accountability is just to say like, look, we know that it's true. Just fess the fuck up, right? Be accountable to the things that are actually happening. Is that fair?
Yeah.
It shouldn't be that big of a barrier for it to be like that serious. If it's that serious, then it means it obviously bugs you, or
Right.
like if you find you find it more like attacking, if not like controversy. Like if it's such a controversy thing, that means it bothers you so much to do it. And if it doesn't bother you, then just like, okay, this is what it is. And if it's not meant to be, then it's just like, okay,
Yeah,
fuck
exactly,
it. There's
yeah.
more fish in the sea, but this is what it is. And I did fuck and do all this stuff for accountability reasons, but like this is what I want in the future. That goes like a big long way, and I think a lot of women don't really see it that way. Like they just be like, with
I think you're right. I think you're right. And the thing is like you might outright get rejected by such honesty,
Yeah.
but the truth is at least you have integrity, and that you at least walk away with some fucking respect, right?
Bro,
100%.
100%.
Andrew, so how about if, like, for me, a bigger, more important issue is like abortions. Like, I think, how come guys aren't asking have you had an abortion? Have you had any abortions? Like, that to me would be like a really big sign to your point of like, do I want to marry this woman? That's something that like, well, I know I'm just relating it to body counts.
Wait, but
too.
how does that correlate?
Because
Well,
I'm
I mean, it
saying-
correlates for the purpose.
You
of
know what I'm saying, right?
accountability.
Okay,
Yeah,
yes.
I do. I think it's a good point, right?
Yeah.
And it's set to the value structure.
Right,
So
yeah.
I think that if you were with a
Other split,
person
Nick.
or dating a person who was Christian, followed Christian
Yeah.
ethics,
Other split.
they likely would want your stance on abortion. I don't think
Yes.
they'd come right out and ask you.
Right.
Because sitting down at the first date and saying that you murder babies might be a little over the top, right?
Yeah.
But I think that they would at least ask your stance on this.
Yeah.
I
moving
think
into
that's
it,
what I
right?
was getting confused at.
Yeah, I was
Asking,
just
like
putting
not
it-
so much.
no, I would never ask
that's
that on a
random,
date.
because I think the typical
I'm just
person,
comparing it.
I guess like the typical woman's not getting abortion, so I think that's a random question to ask. That's a very specific one.
Yeah, I was
But
relating it
I
to
would
the body
agree
count
that,
question
yeah, I think it's
thing.
important
Yeah.
to
What do you
ask,
mean
like,
the typical woman's not?
Yeah,
getting
I think a lot of
abortions? What does
women
that mean?
do, and it's really.
What does that entail?
Yeah, I think the
compared
typical
to-
woman is getting abortions. I think
Yeah.
you're completely wrong.
No, I
think
agree.
that that's very
think,
typical.
I mean,
Yeah,
yeah, I guess.
unfortunately.
I think, yeah, I agree.
Wait, is
I-
Plan B considered like abortion? Would you consider
so,
that
no,
abortion?
there's some
wouldn't
different
consider
conversations going around on if like Plan B is considered an abortion. I would say that as far as like what research has been done, it's a preventative and it's not considered like a termination of pregnancy. And we're talking about abortion.
What do you mean it's not considered a termination of pregnancy? Well, what the hell is it? Is there a life in the womb, or
Yeah.
is there not
so
a life?
So I fundamentally I don't agree with Plan B. Like I don't agree with it.
Yeah, that doesn't answer my
but
question.
I would say that Plan B, it delays ovulation, right? If I'm wrong, it would delay ovulation from occurring. Therefore, fertilization would not have a chance to occur, right? Like in the case of taking Plan B.
Is that Plan B, or is that the?
There's no life in
That's
Plan
the
B.
morning
Like, there's
after.
no kid in you if
Plan
you
B
have
is
a
the
plan,
morning after
you know?
pill.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
Okay,
we're not
so
talking about, like,
there is an abortion.
mifepristol.
Okay, but there is an abortion pill.
You're
as
thinking
well.
Yeah,
about
that's
mifepristol.
different.
Yeah, mifepristol is
okay.
the one that terminates pregnancy after fertilization occurs. There's some IUDs that also make the uterus an inhabitable environment,
sounds so
which I
scary.
disagree with, which takes a fertilized blastocyst and terminates the pregnancy. So we could argue like that, but yeah.
Yeah. Well, no. So my position would just be for abortion. I think most people from the Christian purview, though mine would be even more extreme than this. I would at least concede to at least the rationale of there is no life there. Now you could make this
There is.
kind of extreme. Now for Plan B, I thought you just said there wasn't.
Oh, not for Plan B. Sorry, I thought you
Well,
meant.
yeah. So for
something.
Plan B, I think that you could make this as kind of extraneous as you want. You could say, well, we could get into semen itself being the seed of life and the different religious beliefs around that.
Yeah.
But I think we could at least stick with the idea that if there's no life present, most men would probably say, okay, you're not having an abortion here.
Yeah, there's like preventative, and then when you're talking abortion, you're talking the actual elective, like murdering of a baby in utero. So that's
Yeah. So,
different.
but that aside, when she's making the statement, she's actually asking about abortion itself.
Yeah.
So she's saying, okay, are you going in and having an abortion done? You said that's not typical. I disagree. I think that's very
Yeah,
typical.
it's very typical.
I would say,
think
yeah.
it's
I mean,
very typical.
since I guess in the last decade, yeah. I mean, there have been 70 million abortions that have occurred, and
Pretty typical.
Yeah, and I think per year it's like 2 million. I guess I misspoke on that. I think where I got like thrown off was if I were on a first date and a man asked me if I had an abortion, I guess I'd be thrown off, and of course I would say no, and that I'm pro-life. But it's just, yeah, I guess I just haven't heard that one before.
It was just a comparison. I don't
Yeah.
think people are saying that on dates. Maybe in the super Christian community, but it was just a comparison for the whole.
Well,
like,
I do
how
have to-
was-
I don't think that they would. I think that they would try to gauge what your stance was on it in general.
That's good. I
Right? They'd
think
say, what
asking-
is your stance here on this?
Yeah, that's
And
fine.
then they could use an inference there, right? I don't even think most men would just come right out and ask you your body count either. They would use inferences first, right? But I don't actually see there being a problem with either question.
Yeah,
right?
I
Hey,
think asking
have you
your
ever had an
stance is
abortion? Seems reasonable to me. That seems like a reasonable
Yeah.
question. You may
But
not like it. It may seem uncomfortable.
just like you were saying that the woman who is accountable.
Dylan Joe donated $200. Is it fair for your chick to have trust issues with you even if you're innocent and show no signs of being unfaithful? Andrew?
All right, that one came in earlier. I'm moving the conversation on. So that TTS came in earlier. Is it fair for your chick to have trust issues with you even if you're innocent and show no signs of being? Is this a question for the women at the table?
Or the men on the mic.
It sounds like a
I don't
question
know.
for
These
the
questions
parents.
sometimes.
You can go both ways, I guess.
Thank you, Dylan. Is it fair for your chick to have trust issues? No, it's not fair.
I don't think so.
I don't think it's fair.
I don't think it's fair either. That's her own issues.
Yeah.
She's bringing
Personal
into the projecting onto the man.
It's kind of like when a chick dreams that you cheat on her, and then
wakes up and
she
punches
holds
you.
that shit against you. That in her dream you cheated on her. So
I mean, trust issues come with like if you have trust issues and you're like openly dating. I feel like you need to like secure your own confidence and like you can project a lot of your insecurities onto like relationships.
Yeah.
I agree.
and then this one came in.
Techno Trooper donated $200. How many bodies is too many bodies for a female? What is past the threshold where it is unacceptable?
It's a good question. I think it depends on the age. I mean, once you start getting into, I'm not saying it's a 100% deal breaker, but certainly once
Hang on. Brian, he said for a female.
Right.
Yeah.
Wait, like as in too
As
many
in, from a
bodies?
woman's perspective, how many bodies? is
Oh,
too
I
many
don't think
bodies?
so.
No,
I don't think
I think
so.
it can be read the other way. too many bodies for a female to have.
Yeah.
Okay, let's
Oh,
hear your
to have.
perspective.
Yeah.
I want to hear yours. I'm
Well,
curious.
I mean, it's not a deal breaker immediately, but I think once you get above 10, then it's an eyebrow raise.
What if you have 10 in the time span of you having, from the age that you did have sex, let me just make up a number, 19 to, let's say, like I'm 26, 10, right? But let's say I'm 33-year-old virgin, and then I end up discovering sex, and I like have like 10 or 12 just because I finally let it go. But it also comes with accountability, like Andrew was saying.
Yeah.
So like, is it that really such a deal breaker part, or is that too much just because of like the time span of it, or is it just because of the experience of you being with 10 men?
So you're saying the question is essentially a woman who's had sex with one guy a year for X amount of years versus a woman who's had sex with 10 partners in the span of 1 year.
Is it the
that
time span, or is it the
number.
people, or is it the number?
Both.
I think we look at it. I think most women would look at it the same way. Though I think it would throw a greater red flag if they did them kind of like back to back to back. That would show even less kind of restraint. But I think that they would look at the overall count. So the way I look at it is this. This is an arbitrary metric. I'm not going to deny that it's an arbitrary metric. It's based on preference, right? There's nothing that I can point to where I can say, this is the dyed-in-the-wool metric which every man follows or should follow. But I can say this as a almost definite across the board. The less, the better. And since it is always the case that it
Audio?
is the less, the better, at least in almost all men that I have talked to, then every single time that you have sex with a new man, this is going to lower your value in the eyes of most men. So that's how I would frame it. I couldn't give you an exact number, but I don't think I need to, if you know that every single one, above one, makes you worth less, at least in the eyes of men, than if you had 0. Does that make sense?
Yeah, it makes sense. But would you also agree that there are other things that you could bring to the table that could raise your value? So it's kind of like this chart graph of like different things that come together to make a whole.
No.
So that one's a
Here's
big
the thing.
deal breaker for you.
I would say on the issuance of body count loyalty is what that's pointing to. So let me explain this the best way that I can. Paternity testing is a modern invention. It is something which is very recent. Before the idea of paternity testing came around, how would a man be able to judge if his offspring was his or if he had been cuckolded and his wife had slept with somebody else, had their offspring, and now this man is raising offspring unwittingly, which is not his own? The only way to really determine that metric would be to have a woman who was a virgin. And the reason that you would want that is because then you know that this woman is devoted only to you. Whereas if she'd had multiple sexual partners before that, it's much more difficult to make the determination she would be with you. And now with paternity testing, we know how many women lie about paternity. It's actually a great many more than we ever thought. So I think that this is something which is hardwired into men for a good reason.
Yeah, but just also because a woman's a virgin in a relationship doesn't mean she's not going to cheat on you and go run around and.
I think
far less
that
likely.
I think that the likelihood, though, that a woman who is a virgin in a relationship with you does run around is going to be far less than the likelihood of a woman who's promiscuous doing so. Wouldn't you agree?
Well, what if you've just like awakened this virgin? What if Lauren here is some like hidden like freak and she like gets awakened and now she's just like
hold
running
on.
around town?
Wait, hold on. So really quick. So really quick on the whole cheating thing. Really quick on the whole cheating thing. Me personally, while it can be an indicator for potential infidelity, at least for me, that's not really the primary reason. Frankly, I just think it's gross.
Yeah.
I can't even articulate precisely why. I couldn't even, why I actually could.
But that's why you think it's gross.
It's just disgusting.
I can
That's why you think
respect
it's
that a little bit
disgusting.
more. I agree with that opinion more because I can understand that
Yeah,
more
but
because I
that's
think
why it's disgusting. Don't you understand? Like, the reason that men find it disgusting is because of that hardwired, innate understanding of if you're sleeping with multiple men, I cannot determine offspring. That's why it's disgusting to men. That's why they find it gross. It's like, it's not enough to just say it's gross, right? The justification for it is very simple. And so when we dive into this, like, I'd like to engage directly with your argument, right? And your argument is, what if you awaken the beast? Now you've slept with this virgin woman, and what would you be, if you awaken that beast, and she, well, I suppose it's possible.
Yeah,
but
the milkman's
here's what-
coming by. And
but here's what the data shows us. Here's what we know from the data. Because women who marry as virgins have only the sample size of their husband, right? That's the sample that they have. They think that's the best sex in the world. What the fuck would they have to compare it to?
yeah, I actually have friends that multiple
Nothing. They have
couple friends
nothing to
that have
compare it to. So
been together
that's why
since
the
high school.
longevity and the faithfulness in those relationships tends to be much higher than it is in the general public.
Yeah,
the likelihood of
I
it
have
happening
some very
seems
happily
to be-
married couple friends that have been together since high school that have never been with anybody else. So I totally see that. I've also seen on the other side of the spectrum, really unhappy like people that wanted to like resented that they wish they had more experience. And I've also
Yeah,
seen
sure,
people
sure.
with a lot of
Listen,
experience.
I
who
can't
have-
argue with your anecdotes.
Yeah.
I can't argue with anecdotal experience, so I'm going to defer to what we see
Right.
from polls and data from people who are studied who enter into virgin relationships, their divorce rate, their marriage rate, their happiness rates, and their infidelity rates. I'll defer to when we have a much larger sample size than what I personally have seen, but rather them being followed so that we understand what the outcomes of those types of relationships are. And here's what we see, just so you know. What we see specifically is that men and women who get married as virgins their relationships last far longer. Their divorce rates are far less, far, far, far less. And if a man marries a virgin who's not a virgin, same thing, almost the same identical outcome. However, if the woman is promiscuous and the man is promiscuous, the outcome's usually bad when it comes to divorce. Same thing if only one partner is promiscuous. So what we can ascertain from this is that if you're both virgins and you get married, it's no guarantee that you won't awaken the beast in the woman, but it's a great mitigating factor, isn't it? It's a great way to mitigate it.
As an example. Yeah, and also though, somebody with a lot of experience could just as easily know what they want now and know what they don't want. And sometimes I also want to bring up, sometimes women have been in unfortunate situations and circumstances as a young child, and there's trauma, and sometimes you find yourself in unfortunate situations where you can change. You can totally change.
Greatest
and
copes
stuff
ever
like
by
that.
women. This is one of the greatest copes that I hear from women is the idea that I had childhood trauma. Well, here's the thing. I'm just going to be blunt with you.
Okay.
Everybody has fucking childhood trauma. Everybody.
Yeah.
Every human being on earth has childhood trauma, men or women. It's just that when men complain about it, nobody gives a shit. And when women complain about it, there's a woman there to go, oh, sweetie. Oh, sweetheart. I'm so sorry that happened. Oh, it's so terrible that happened. That the man was mean to you when you were, oh, sweetie, is there anything, can I give you my other shoulder to cry on too? When it comes to men, we just don't give a shit. We're like, well, suck it up, buttercup. Get your ass back to work because we got to get this project done by 5.
Well, I do disagree that everybody has had childhood sexual trauma. I don't think that has.
Okay, I'm moving it on.
It's highly prevalent in men. Where does this idea come from that
God,
this is
they love
exclusive
talking
to
about this
women?
shit.
Oh, sorry. All right.
Well, never mind.
All
I'm
right.
just saying.
Nick, pull up Twitch.
Brian's displeased.
Go ahead. Guys, go to twitch.tv/whatever, drop us a follow and a Prime sub if you want one, if you can subscribe. Twitch.tv/whatever, drop us a follow and a Prime sub. And then go to our Discord, discord.gg/whatever. You can hide that temporarily. Discord.gg/whatever, also pull it up over there. One sec, guys. So we did an IRL stream on Friday. Yo, AB Check, thanks for the gift of 20 memberships. We did a IRL stream on Friday, but we had to take it down because that twat in the pink polo said some TOS shit. So if you want to see it, we can't post it on YouTube. We can't play it on YouTube, but discord.gg/whatever. If you guys want to see it, discord.gg/whatever. And yeah, appreciate it, guys. And then what else do we have? I'm just going to get into some pre-show notes here. I'm going to Liz. You said that you're super single in your pre-show notes. I'm trying to recall if you said there's something at all in the picture. Currently. Dating.
Oh, super single.
Yeah. Let's pull up her dating app. Why not? Let's do that really quick.
Oh, fuck.
We'll do that really quick. Go ahead, Nick.
That's crazy. All right. Hot seat.
All right, guys, here's her hinge. Nick, you looked at these before, correct? Okay.
Damn it, Nick.
All right. Are you able to scroll down a bit?
He has no comment.
Oh, okay.
His opinions don't obviously
All right.
matter.
Spider, bees, Nick. What are those two?
I'm scared of complete darkness.
Okay, there's 2 phobias there. So what are?
Right. Thalassophobia is that ass phobia. I'm just playing.
Deep waters.
It is deep waters. Thank you so much. I wanted to see. Okay, so like nyctophobia.
Thank you, Laundry.
It's more like I'm scared of complete darkness, meaning
Okay.
like pitch darkness. Like I can't see my hands, my feet, and that is scary because I start thinking of things like what is out there, and obviously that's just that. But thalassophobia is deep water. So I know how to swim.
Yep,
I like to
got it.
swim.
Got it. Okay. You said you're Christian. You're Christian. What denomination?
I actually grew up Mormon, but I would
okay.
consider myself Christian now because I'm still religious, so I still go to church on every other
Are
Sunday.
you?
I'm trying to do better.
What's the denomination of the church?
Christianity.
Non-denominational.
Like Pentecostal.
Do you by chance go to St.
Apostolic.
Baptist?
So no, honestly I haven't really investigated that much, but I wanted to reach out to churches and I didn't want to go back to Mormon. So I looked at the churches that were nearby and I went to a couple, and that one really stood out to me in the sense of the pastor and what he preaches, and
Okay.
energy based, because I've tried Jehovah's Witnesses. It wasn't really intriguing.
All right, let's go back to the profile, please.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, boom. Next. Together we could cook, work out, hopefully make each other laugh. Okay. Green flags I look for: communication, patience, charisma, family-oriented, sense of humor, optimism, etc.
I don't know, man. That sounds like a lot of work.
Okay.
Not as much as fucking Lawrence, all right? Don't fucking put me there.
I was gonna press the button, but I got cut off, so I would have pressed
Wait, you don't know the rule of Lawrence? So just so you
Sounds
know,
like a
all
lot of
Lawrence
work.
are evil from birth.
Okay,
This
no, it
is
was-
the
Is there
rule
more?
for Lawrence.
Nick, is there more? Okay.
We're evil from birth, he said.
Birth. Every Lawrence.
Andrew,
Hey,
please expand.
that's me too.
What do you mean?
She's also Lauren. Yeah.
We have 2 Laurens here. Wait, why?
Oh, I don't know why. It's like
what
it's
did
like
I
a
miss?
universal law. I've never been able to figure it out, but there is no such thing as a Lauren who is not
Really?
evil from birth. I have no idea.
I'm not
why
evil
she's
from
not.
birth. Oh, man. I mean,
I think I am. I think my exes have something else to say about that.
We need a whatever poll to see if all Laurens are evil from birth. Honestly,
I've never met a Lauren I didn't like, but
I have a really sweet friend named Lauren.
you're biased. You're biased.
I think it's a great name.
because
Yeah, I
you
think
are
Lauren's a
a
great
Lauren.
name.
You are Lauren.
go moms.
You're being
Who are you?
biased.
Who are you named Lauren?
So going around the table, those of you who are single, I know you're married, relationship. Do you currently have a roster of guys? I think you said you're dating a couple people.
Well, I know when I said dating, I meant like I'm single and I'm open to dating. Like I'm not dating a specific person.
Well,
right
when's the
now.
last time you went on a date?
I guess I went to a concert last night with some people, and
Some people.
Was it a date?
it was like it was a group of people, and there was
Friend
other single people
This is
there.
I feel like this is very coded language.
I went on a concert with some people, and there were other single people there as well that were in the group.
Wait, was it like one of these single outing groups
No.
that meet up type
No,
thing?
I went with a friend and her friends.
Swingers. I'm just kidding.
One of the friends of her friends. Last time I was on like a date.
What was the concert?
Creed.
Oh, okay.
It was so good.
Okay.
Can
so
I get
good.
your best Creed impression?
Can you take me higher?
Oh, yes, ma'am.
All right, there you go. Okay. So when's the last time you were on a date?
Like dinner. What do you mean?
When's the last time you hung out one-on-one with a man where there was a mutual or potentially mutual romantic interest
Okay.
or sexual interest?
Probably like a month ago or so.
Okay.
Yeah.
Is he out of the picture?
No, not out of the picture.
Okay. How long have you been hanging out with this individual?
Talking. There's like an on again, off again person that's been in my life for like 7 years, on again, off again, and yeah. So there's that person.
Being a
It's an
little
off again-
evasive.
it's
You're being a little evasive
I'm single.
here.
What do you want? What do you
So,
want?
Do you fuck or not?
I'm open to talking about some past experiences, but I don't feel comfortable talking about my current life right now, dating.
You've been seeing this guy for 7 years.
No, I mean this is just somebody.
This is like very pertinent to the conversation.
It's somebody that is in an off again phase right now. So
Is he in prison?
no. We both just
You don't need to tell me his name or anything.
no, I know. It's just
Wait,
not. I'm not going to talk about that.
Well, I'll ask some questions. If you don't want to answer them, that's fine. But so you said you were on a date a month ago. Was it with said guy who you can't talk about?
No.
Okay.
No.
But so okay.
I guess I met somebody at an event and went out with friends after the event. Went out for drinks after the event with this person. But yeah.
A month ago.
Yeah.
So you met him a month ago, or have you known him for longer?
The person that I technically went on a date with last, yes, I met him a month ago and we went on a date.
Have you seen him since, or no?
We've talked.
You've talked?
Yeah.
Have you met in person?
I don't want to talk about that stuff right now.
I mean, why not?
Just
I know. Hold on. I think I know exactly why. There's multiple men in the picture, and you don't want to let on to these other men, these multiple men who you're saying.
no,
that
actually,
you,
whoa. Actually, my
Then
no,
for
no.
what other
I'll
reason?
tell you the reason.
For whatever.
I'll tell you
for
the
what
reason
other
right now.
reason would you refuse this
Okay,
question?
I'll tell you right now. My son is a huge fan of this show, and I really hope he doesn't watch this podcast. But I keep my dating life private from my children.
But you asked to come on a dating discussion.
Yeah, because I was hoping it would be a
podcast.
little bit more like politically involved.
Well, we can get there.
Okay,
But
so that's what I was actually hoping for more. Like, I said I'm open to talking about some of my past experiences.
Well, you're not silly, right? We could refer to this X as Sasquatch or like whatever you want in order to make it so that you can talk about these experiences in a way that we can understand without you outing any of this actual pertinent information, right?
Yeah, potentially. It's just that my kid, like, he just discovered that I'm dating. Like, he, for the longest time, only thought I only had one boyfriend after his dad for 8 years. So it's just
Yeah,
kind
we're
of...
not talking about a boyfriend. We're talking about a Sasquatch, right?
Right.
Like if you were to date a Sasquatch, what would that be? Right, something like this. I think you don't seem like you're foolish, right? I think that we can work this in such a way where you can discuss these issues without you outing any personal details. Nor do we want you to.
Yeah. What is it that you would like to know about the date?
well, I was more interested in
careful about
the whole roster situation.
No,
Have you-
I don't have a roster
Have
right
you ever
now.
had a roster?
I stopped dating men in California a year ago.
Why?
Because of a lot of political stuff. I really like more conservative men, and so I started
Okay.
dating in Texas.
Where it's bigger.
You live in California?
I do, but I was hoping to move out there.
Wait, with your 3 kids?
No, just with just my son and I. My daughters are already established here and they're older, so.
Wait, you have 3 kids, right? You have one that just is 17?
Yeah, but she graduated high school already.
Okay, she's going to college. And then you have a younger daughter?
15-year-old sophomore.
And then your
Son is 11 in 6th grade.
okay.
Yeah, so he and I.
Wait, why don't you? Do you have have full custody of your children?
Well, I never took him to court for any custody arrangement until last year, and the girls are at discretion to go with their dad, and our son can see him only if he agrees to not have the girlfriend around.
Well, assuming you met somebody and you could move to Texas now, you would
No,
leave your-
I would not be able to leave without written permission from him, since I kind of shot myself in the foot by taking him to court, because now I can't leave if I wanted to, without written permission.
Wait, and so
But I had to take him to court.
so you'd have to wait. I'm confused, but you said you want to move to Texas.
I had wanted to. It didn't work out, so I'm not
would
doing that now.
would he consider granting you permission to move? To
I don't know. We
Texas?
really don't talk.
Does he ever have the kids?
Rarely, and if he does, it's our son.
How often does he visit?
He could go 6 months without seeing him, or see him every weekend. It's really open to him. I would never keep my kid's father from.
But
there-
so,
from
knowing that you are essentially barred from leaving, why are you pursuing a man who lives in Texas?
I'm not anymore doing that because now I can't. I'm
Oh.
for sure not moving. But that's what
Wait.
I did last year. So last year,
Okay.
I stopped dating men in California,
Because you wanted to meet a conservative guy.
in Texas.
Okay.
There's other things I like about Texas too.
There's a lot of liberals in Texas too.
There are.
Okay. And so, have you at any point have you had a roster?
Yes.
Okay. How big was the roster?
Not big, small.
2, 3 guys? 4 guys?
At a time, I guess I would say
Mm-hmm.
2.
Okay. What about you? Ever had a roster?
I mentioned that earlier that I've had my
Hose. You said hose. I think.
fair stage of hose. But that doesn't necessarily mean like having sex. Like, what is a roster to you in your like definition? Does that mean like sexually active with them, or are you just dating them and talking to them? Like,
I mean, it could mean sexual activity, but I would say like
Oh,
if you're dating multiple men.
I mean, like I've talked to some, but like I think like
Okay. Have you ever? Okay, I'll just make it simple.
Okay, yeah.
Let's just do like sexual. Have you ever had a roster of guys who you've been hooking up with?
it'd be more like just running back to my exes.
You
rather
remember that
than-
whole accountability conversation we were having, right? Come on, tell us about the
No,
roster.
Andrew.
Tell
Okay,
us
that's
about the
I'm
roster.
getting there. I'm getting there. What I'm saying was that like I wouldn't like for me like oh okay like I didn't want to do one that says like I would do more like I would run to my exes and that was my issue. Like oh I wanted like to whatever quick
But-
nut or just be like sexually or like just bust
Yeah,
it
but-
out there. You know what I'm saying? Instead of adding into the body.
Would you ever
Obvious.
be sexually involved with multiple men at the same time? And when I say same time, I mean say a period of a week, a month, something like this.
No, it would be like sexually active with one, entertaining some, like talking, dating wise, but like the other one would be
Yeah.
strictly just for like sexual basis.
So there'd be like you'd have one guy who you're sleeping with, and then maybe you'd be going on like a date here and there with like another dude.
Yeah.
Would you ever tell that other dude that you're waiting to have sex with him?
Oh, never mind. I just gonna. I'm sorry. Repeat your question.
Like the men while you were kind of had the roster whatever, would you ever tell them that you want to wait to have sex with them?
The people that I'm like my ex relationships that I like just like be
No,
involved
like so
with.
okay, you said there'd be like one guy who you're sleeping with.
Yeah.
And then there would be other guys who you're not sleeping with, but like you're going on a date or a second date, that sort of thing.
Yeah.
What would you tell them? Because I assume they wanted to sleep with you, right? Would you tell them that you're waiting to have sex?
I mean, it kind of just goes with like see what our vibe is. I always do have a conversation. Like obviously, like are you sexually active with other people before we make the jump of having sex? Like, okay, yeah, okay, this is what it is. Like this is the last person I had sex with. I had sex with my ex. I'm just gonna be honest because at the end of the day, like I'd rather be honest than just like beat around the bush about it. Like, and then I hope to receive the same back.
I think what he's asking is, are you withholding sex from the guys that you're going on casual dates with?
Now I would say yes. Back then, I did discover my confidence, and I would like be like, oh, yeah, let's do this. Or I felt sexy, or I felt the vibe, or I'd indulge in like smoking or drinking to like do that. But
So-
now, no. Back then.
Huh?
Oh.
It was what?
Good call.
Was it out or?
Was it all?
Not like too much, but it could have been.
Sorry, what happens when you have tits? Sorry. So back to the discussion. I'm sorry. Did I
That's
answer your
okay.
question, or were you?
All right, here I'll move it on. Roster. Have you ever
Yeah,
had a roster?
you're latibulating a little bit here, right? So
Lativ-
backing up, yeah. So backing up, I feel like you're spinning a yarn here worse than Rumpelstiltskin. So can you just like be a little bit more concise with what it is that you're saying, because you're kind of going all over the place here.
I'm trying to find the question.
So
to
like,
give you the
okay,
direct
say for
answer.
example, I'm like sleeping with a guy, and I go on dates with 2 other guys. You would ask me like, am I He's trying to ask, like, actually, that was a bad hypothetical. Okay, he's asking if you are withholding sex from these guys that you were going on dates with while you were also having a sexual relationship with someone else. Like, are you telling these guys, oh, I want to wait to have sex while you're
Oh, no.
also having a
No.
sexual? Okay.
No.
Okay.
No.
Okay. Ever had a roster?
Yes.
What was the scope of it?
It was only like 3, and then I ended up dating one. That was the one that I just recently got out of.
Hmm. And were you hooking up with all of them?
No, I was
Okay.
only with him.
But you were dating 3 at a time.
Well, I wouldn't say like dating. I would say like we would hang out. We were like cutie and flirty, and we would like go out with like group of friends. It was never just like one-on-one.
Wait. What do you mean?
Like
So-
we would like all like it would be like me, him, and then his friends, and then like my girlfriends. We would like all go out together, but we liked each other. But we never went like on a date with each other. I'm sorry.
The main guy that you liked.
No, the other 2.
They would also, all 3 of the men would be on a date
No.
together with
no.
you?
No. So like
What?
first, like the main guy like that I ended up dating, him and I would just hang out all the time, like just me and him together. And we'd go on dates. We would just be us 2, or it'd be like me and his sister, or like I'd hang out with his family. And then the other 2, I would hang out in like group settings.
Okay.
Individually.
Sure.
Yeah.
What about you? Roster? Current? No roster? Current?
I mean, I'm like dating, so like going on multiple dates. Is that a roster?
Yeah, well, let's talk about that. So
Okay.
you're dating, you're going on multiple dates. How many have you been on a date this week? Past week?
This week, probably 2.
2 dates? Okay. And were they both first dates?
One of them, yes. The other one, no.
Okay. Past month, how many dates have you gone on?
Like 6.
How many different, like six different guys?
dates, 6 guys.
6 different guys? Okay.
Oh, I sound bad.
All right.
It's just dating, though, so it's not like
Sure.
anything sexual.
Okay. So you're not hooking up with anybody?
No. You think I'm lying?
I don't know. I don't know what the truth is.
It's okay.
Your friend back there's laughing, so she's. Can we see it in the reflection? I'm trying to see. A little bit. We can sort of see it right there. Yeah, there she is. So is she telling the truth here, friend, or?
I played the 5th.
So how long you been celibate?
Everyone always thinks I'm lying. 8 months. 9.
Well,
Hey, hang on.
That's how long I've been single for.
Why does she keep walking off? She just doesn't believe you?
no, I think she's getting water. She's getting water.
She's getting water.
Yeah. Okay. So, because you said you have been single for 8 months, so there's been
Nobody.
nobody.
No.
Nobody.
Nobody.
What if I told you that
Yeah.
somebody DM'd me that knows you,
Okay.
and they said that's not true?
Uh-oh.
Absolutely false.
I'm just kidding.
I'm like, but I've had it, like
okay.
had heard that before though,
Wait.
where it's guys
Yeah.
like lie about hooking up with me. I am from a small town, so.
So going back to you, have you ever had a roster?
Yeah, at one point in time.
How big was the roster?
3.
Three
I
guys?
was like 18
Like that you were
years old. No, not
hooking up with?
sleeping with. No, like texting.
Texting?
Yeah.
Okay. What about you? You ever had a roster? Girls, guys, whatever?
Yeah, I've definitely like had a roster, no more than like 3, but it wasn't like I was having sex with all of them at once. It was just like talking.
How big was the roster? You said 3?
Probably like
was it?
3, yeah.
And then did you answer this question?
Yeah, I said
Or you refused to kind of answer the
I
question?
said I have had one.
dancing around?
I have had one in my life.
Okay. Oh, okay. Going to my notes here on Anna, you said your current relationship, you talked about it a bit. You said it's kind of an interesting story. Did you share the interesting
Well, it
story
was
component?
just that we talked for like a full year, but we basically were dating, but we never made it official.
You guys were friends
No,
prior?
we met on Tinder.
Oh.
And
you
like,
wait, you didn't meet up in person?
No, we did.
Oh, you did?
We just never like made it an official title
I
that we
see.
were dating, but we just acted like we were dating for like a year.
Oh, okay.
So, kind of
You said you have a lot of crazy dating stories from hookups with guys in your freshman year that
Yeah, in the past,
didn't know how to put on a condom. Can you shine a flashlight for me?
I did have a guy make me shine a flashlight on his dick to put the condom on. It was really uncomfortable.
What? Wait, why was it uncomfortable?
Well, it was just like I didn't want to like put a flashlight on that in like the dark room. Like that's just like it wasn't. It
You're like a lights out kind of
yeah.
gal?
Well, it just like ruined the moment.
Wasn't it going to go inside of you?
Yeah, it was.
But you
But
just didn't want to look at it?
maybe it was like it was a hookup, and so it was just like it kind of ruined the moment when he's like, oh, like can you get a flashlight? And I'm like trying to find my phone.
So you wanted to make sure that the condom went on correctly so that you could
Well,
see.
I think
and
he
it,
was a
and
virgin.
it ruined the moment for
To
you?
be honest,
Oh,
I
he was a
think
vir-
he just had never put one on before.
He was a virgin?
Yeah, it was really awkward.
He had a little penis.
Yeah.
That is crazy.
What are you over here now he has an Oompa Loompa penis? Like he can't be even mildly charitable. He can't be even mildly charitable.
He was fine. Like there was nothing really special about it. It was just really awkward.
Because of the flashlight?
Yeah, the flashlight
And
because
his
it was
little
like
dick.
dark and like I was just like sitting there like holding it, and it's like a spotlight as he's like struggling to put on the condom.
You heard it here first, folks. Don't be vulnerable with women ever. I
You know
guess.
what? They do say guys that turn the lights on, or girls that turn the lights on, they're like, or they turn the lights off. I think they say that they're insecure about themselves.
Yeah, I
right?
have heard that, but I don't even know why the lights off or were off. It just kind of happened that way.
So a lot of crazy dating went from your freshman year.
Yeah, I had like a sugar daddy and stuff.
Okay. You said, let me see here. You dated a guy for a year. Well, let's go into the sugar daddy really quick. First off, show of hands. Who here has had a sugar daddy before?
Is that not normal?
You've had a sugar daddy?
Yeah.
Equestrian horse?
Someone's got to pay for the horses.
Emphasis on the no daddy
now
part.
we
She
know
said
how.
no dad. That doesn't mean she meant sugar
Wait,
daddy.
so you, and did you raise your hand too?
Yeah.
Okay, so let's get into the sugar daddy stuff really quick. Only one sugar daddy, or have you had more?
Only one that like actually like paid me for stuff,
Paid.
or
And then
like a
there's
significant
others.
amount. But I never like did anything like actual. Like we never had sex or anything like that.
How old was he?
Probably like 56.
How old were you?
Something like that. 18.
Okay, and how did you meet him?
Tinder.
Tinder.
Yeah.
Okay.
He had like some really weird like niche kinks. That he
Niche
would just
kinks.
say.
Okay.
Yeah.
So what was the nature of the exchange between you two?
A lot of FaceTime or like texting. He really just liked to have somebody to talk to. And I did go to his house one time, and he called it a clothing fetish. He liked to buy clothing for women and have them just try it on. So I basically just got a bunch of free clothes.
I love that.
And so you said FaceTime, texting, he would pay you?
Yeah.
How much was he paying you?
He would like sometimes like just Venmo me like $200 and be like, just get on FaceTime for a bit. But he
Okay.
was like really annoying in the end, and so I stopped talking.
And
to
how
him.
much for the in-person hangout?
It would depend. He would usually like just kind of like hand out cash as it went on, but he would also like buy me clothing or like take me out to eat. I only went to see him like 2 times and then really never
You
again.
said you went to dinner once or something?
Yeah, we went to Nobu. In
Nobu.
LA.
How much is Nobu? How much does that cost?
It was
Pretty
like
expensive.
$1,500.
In the thousand? Okay.
No, wait, 1,000. I don't know. Like for,
Well,
for a
it can
regular
be.
dinner,
Hundreds.
yeah. For like a 2-person dinner, it's like $500.
He
It's
spent
expensive.
like $1,500 at the dinner, but he was like just like buying drinks and like everything.
And,
Oh, that's why I asked.
and then
Yeah.
so how much for texting would he pay you?
It wasn't ever like a set amount for texting so much. He would just kind of text, but he like had really weird hours. It would be like 3 a.m. in the morning, and he would just be like blowing up my phone, and then he'd like send me money if I wasn't responding, and
Yeah.
with the intent that I should respond, I guess.
How much money do you think total he sent?
That I made in total.
Yeah, from him.
Probably like 4,000, and it was only
4,000
like
total.
within a month span.
One month. Wow,
Yeah.
Okay. And then you said there was another sugar daddy?
There
or-
were just some other like older guys that I like tried to match with on Tinder. Like
You tried to match with them?
Well, I did match with them, but like they either wanted to like actually have sex, or it just never really happened. Anything happened.
How would, like, were they upfront about wanting to be sugar daddies, or was this something that you were kind of soliciting?
The one guy that I actually did see in person, he was very upfront about it. It was like a regular thing he did.
Okay.
The other ones, not so much. Sometimes, like, I would have like older guys on Tinder would like message me and be like, "I'll pay you this much for this or this." And,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Was it because they were ugly that you didn't do it, or was it because like what Daisy said earlier was like if they're ugly, it's kind of creepy, but if they were kind of cute, you would like do it.
Yeah, honestly, that is kind of real. Like, if they were ugly, I was like, okay, that's gross. But if they were cute, but like, I never actually wanted to have
This is honest,
sex
I
with
love
any
this.
of them. Like, I wasn't gonna do like sex for money. But,
Sure. Okay.
Yeah.
Did you ever send, like, lewd pictures or
I took photos from Pornhub and sent it to them.
so fraud?
Yeah.
So you would send him nude
Like
photos.
one time. He never really
How much
wanted
did you pay
that.
pay for that?
Probably like $50 or something.
Oh,
Damn.
Not
like feet
that
pics
much.
or something? Any
I
shit
would
like
love
that?
to find somebody that wants feet pics for money. That'd be great.
Okay.
So-
All right. Okay. You had a sugar daddy. What about you?
Yeah. Oh, me.
How many have you had?
I'm gonna pass it to you.
How many have you had?
How many have I had?
Yeah. How many sugar daddies have you had?
This is your question.
That was not my question. It was not my question. That I can pinpoint. Maybe like a good handful.
How would you meet them?
Well, that's not very, hang on, that's not very pinpoint. You say, so pinpoint is to be very precise. I have
Okay,
had
I'll be
this
vague.
many, saying a handful,
I'll be
that's
vague.
not very precise, right?
Be vague.
Yeah, it's very vague.
Very vague, very not cutesy. I'm just playing. No, so I at one point, so I'll tie it back to when I got out of like my religion and went to school, paying for my tuition. I did at one point dance, and that.
Wait, hang on. Now, when you say dance, right? So that just sounds like saying to me, supercalifragilisticexpialidocious. It means nothing, right? It means nothing to me. What does dance mean?
Okay, so like
actually,
if I had
when
to
you
put
say
a
dance,
if I had to put a point on sugar daddies, I would say that I've had a good handful would mean like five, handful five.
yeah, but what does dance mean?
How long were you a stripper for?
I was dancing for like a year. Yeah, I was stripping.
Okay.
Stripping for like a year.
Okay.
It was pre-pandemic,
Yeah.
so.
So getting into the sugar daddy thing, you said you had
You're more
about
open to
5.
it. So like when you go to the clubs, it would be more like,
You don't need to justify it. It's fine.
oh no, I'm getting closer to the answer of like the sugar daddy part. So you meet sugar daddies there, whatever. Sometimes I'd be go, sometimes I wouldn't, which ties me back to my answer. It would be a handful of sugar daddies where it'd be like, here's some money. I want to come support you. You look great. Here, let me praise you as a woman. Boom, there's that.
What was the age typically in their 40s, 50s?
Yeah, anywhere from like not even that
30s?
20s to
20s, okay.
like
Yeah.
they're not obviously daddies, but they.
So this, I mean, we can talk about what was going on in the club, but I'm assuming when you're talking about sugar daddies, this is outside the club, correct?
Yeah.
Okay.
yeah.
And so,
I did have a seeking arrangements at one point, which is sugar daddy.
but so of your sugar daddies, did you meet all of them at the club? Or how many did you meet from seeking?
I would say like 2 in club, 3 in seeking.
Okay. So let's talk. The guy who spent the most on you, let's start there. How much total did he spend?
On a monthly basis, I would say 3 to 4,000.
3 to 4,000. Okay. And how long was this going on for?
Like a year.
Okay. So total, would you say this guy who spent the most on you spent $40,000, $50,000? Is that fair or more?
If that's the math, yeah.
Okay. Well, so was he giving you an allowance, essentially? But then was he spending more on top of that?
Yeah, because they were farther away, so it was mainly
Okay.
like she was saying, like videos and stuff like that. It was a lot of feet pictures too,
okay.
like videos and stuff
Yeah.
of my feet.
Sure.
And then it'd be more so like send me videos of you like pushing your tits together. It'd be like send me some videos of you like angled in a certain way.
Okay. And did you ever meet him in person?
Actually, one turned into like a dating, and it was that one that spent the most.
Wait.
One turned into dating.
Wait,
Which
but the
is
guy
one
who
that
was
spent the
giving you
most.
3 to 4K a month, is that the guy who spent the most or no?
Yeah.
That's the guy who turned into dating?
Yeah. And so that's why like when I said like sugar daddy, like it was like sugar daddy, but it turned into like a semi-relationship. Really.
How soon into the sugar daddy? Like 1 month in?
No, like 6 months in, and it came into a conversation of like when you're already giving that money and you want to have a relationship, comes to a conversation of like, am I still going to give you the money? Like this was the relationship when it started, so I would think so.
Did he?
I feel like he was trying to like cut it, like skimp it short, yeah. But then I always re back to like this could possibly be a relationship, but it couldn't because they were also married, had kids. So it's like you have.
Oh, he was married.
Well, they've been married. They weren't married when
Oh,
we were talking.
They were
so
separate.
yeah,
Okay.
they were divorced.
They were
Yeah. So they
divorced.
had the whole thing of getting married, having kids, and like I had not had that. So it's like I don't know how you would want me to like. That's something that I want to experience.
Prior to getting into the relationship, had you guys had sex?
No.
So he was sugar daddy 6 months, then you guys get into a relationship, then you guys have sex.
Yeah, but it wasn't like sexual. It was more oral. Like when we first like started meeting up, it was just like.
Like you would give him oral?
It would, yeah, it'd be like.
Is that sexual?
He would give you?
I mean, yeah, that's sexual. Okay, like,
I'm
yeah, that
thinking
is sexual. You're right.
carnal
Rephrase. So yes, it was more so like orally, like between like him and I. But it comes with fantasy, so it came with him being fantasized of like him playing with me, playing with myself, not him playing with me, playing with myself. And
Sorry.
and yeah, like
Yeah.
yeah, then it just
Okay.
came to a point where he like did start asking for more, and then it came to like very like awkward. I'm like,
What do you mean asking for more?
Like, when are you gonna like toss my salad?
What?
Okay.
And I'm like, look, I'm a big girl. I do like Caesar salads, but I don't toss them. Okay. But and it kind of got a little uncomfortable because that's something that I not had been into, you know.
So that was the deal breaker for him? A year into you guys talking to each other was...
I
you
don't
wouldn't-
eat ass.
You wouldn't toss a salad?
Yes, I wouldn't
that what
toss.
it means?
Tossing salad means eating ass.
Are you serious?
You don't eat ass?
I didn't either.
Yes.
I thought it was just having sex.
Not at all, ever? Doesn't it just taste like Worcestershire sauce, I'm told?
What?
That's what they
A1?
said on this?
Yeah.
That's fucking disgusting.
You know what the most embarrassing thing is when like you're like sexually and you're like, yes, I'm getting into it, and you're like, maybe I'll try it, and then like I've had an experience where some guy like tilted his legs back, and it was like, whoa, pause.
I want to go home.
I want to go home. I want to go home.
What?
Okay.
Wow. But yeah, no.
So, okay, you had like 4 other sugar daddies. How much were you involved with these sugar daddies while you were involved with Maine spending the most on you, sugar daddy?
No.
Okay. So how much were these other guys spending on you?
It depends. They'd be like, oh, well, I'll come support you at the club when I was dancing, and they would like spend money on either like VIP dances or they would do like stage to like
Sure.
flaunt their ego or whatever. Or they could make money.
I'm just
But
talking like outside the club.
outside the club.
Yeah.
Like, no, like go on dates and they'll get paid like $300-$400 just to go on a date with
Just
them.
on a date.
Yeah.
Bruh.
Nice.
Okay. Okay, I'll get to, okay.
Bro, what? Let it out. We're supposed to be open
I'll
here.
get there. I'll get there. You said you had a sugar daddy. What? Just one? Multiple sugar
I had
daddies?
two.
Two sugar daddies. How long did you have each of them?
So one of them lasted like a week, but he gave me like,
Lasted a week.
yeah.
Okay.
He gave me like $500.
Okay.
And he DM'd me on Instagram. He said, I'll give you money for this picture. And it was a sponsored bikini picture. And I was just like, well, how much do you want for it? Like, I'll DM it to you. And he's like, I'll give you $500. I said, you're lying. And he's like, what's your Venmo? And I sent it to him. $500 was in my account.
Okay.
And then,
Wait, did you send it?
yeah,
Oh, okay.
I sent it after because I thought he was lying.
Yeah. And then the other sugar daddy?
I don't know where I met him from. I think we have mutual friends because he's in the military and he's stationed down in San Diego. And he'll just send me like money like here and there. Like he'll be like, hey, like what are you doing? And I'm like, nothing. He goes, do you want to get your nails done? I'm like, sure. He'll send me like $60. Or if he knows like I'm going out with friends, he'll
Are you
send me
still
like,
talking
money.
to him?
No, this was like 2 months ago.
How long were you involved with this guy?
Before my last relationship to the current one, it was like a 3-month time span. So it was like then and then it was like on and off for like since I was a senior in high school or
With the
freshman in
sugar
college.
daddy?
Yeah,
So 2 or 3 years then?
yeah. It's been a while.
And he would just send you money. How much money do you think total he sent you?
Maybe like 10 grand.
How old was he?
He's like 23. Yeah, because we're only a couple years apart.
And it sounded like you've been in a couple relationships. At any point, were you receiving money from him while you were in a relationship?
No.
Really?
Yes. You can look at my Venmo history.
Well,
I'll pull that up right now.
I'll take your word for it. But you said you were on and off with a sugar daddy for 2 to 3 years. And so you said he'd send you $10,000. Did you ever send him any revealing photos or anything like that?
No,
Or
he just wants someone to talk to. Just like,
just talk?
Yeah.
Did you guys ever meet up in person?
we met up one time. It was because it was his family, or not his family, his brother. I knew his brother, and it was when he was coming back home from basic, and that was the only time I saw him.
Did you guys hook up or anything?
Nope.
I don't know. How old was he?
At that point,
Yeah.
19.
The fucker, 19? Bro, these fucking guys are ruining the dating marketplace.
There are a lot of men in the military that do that.
Yeah.
I have a lot of
Simp?
friends that, yeah.
Yeah.
I
Fucking
have a lot of friends
simps.
that have told me that men, like Army guys or Marines, will send them money just because I don't understand it, but it's very common.
Buy a Corvette or some bullshit. Buy a fucking Mustang.
Yeah.
Waste your money on that shit.
They'll just send money to just like any fat floozy that is around. That's what you think they do?
There are a lot of
bro.
stuff like that happens
Honestly,
in the military. You'd be very
Dude,
surprised.
It's the plastics in the water, dude.
It's sad, but it happens.
What is
often.
going on to our men? Damn,
Really
that's
weird.
crazy. You're Christian, right?
Me?
Yeah.
Yes.
What denomination?
Southern Baptist.
Southern Baptist. Okay. You said you did send a guy like a bikini photo?
Yeah.
Okay. Andrew, question for you. Does this, is that considered sex work?
Yes.
So how do you reconcile doing sex work with your Christian faith?
You think that's sex work?
Yes.
You received money for was it a nude photo or?
No, it was a bikini, and it's posted on my Instagram too.
Why do you
How
pay-
is
why
that?
did he
Well,
pay
how
for
is
it?
that not?
What the fuck?
The purpose of that is not to sell sexualization for money. How is that not prostitution?
I'm trying to think.
Well, don't try too hard.
That's literally what my brain does all the time. It works a little slow.
Would you agree that doing, say, like a woman does?
Yeah, let her answer, please.
Oh, okay. Go ahead.
I would say like from both point of views, like yeah, it's something like I shouldn't have done in the moment, but in the time frame, like I needed money because there's something going on with my horse and I needed the money, so it was kind of like or not like an ego. It was out of my characteristic or character trait to do that. Would I do that again? No. But on the flip side, I do see how you can see it as it is prostitution in a way.
No. I'm not asking how you think I see it. I've told you how I see it. I'm asking you how that could be anything other than selling sexualization for money. How is it anything other than that?
I don't think it is.
Yeah. So, I mean, and is that not prostitution?
Yeah.
Yeah. So you did engage in a form of prostitution, right?
Yeah.
Saying that is incompatible with Christian ethics, correct?
Yeah.
I'm so sorry.
I mean, that's all right. Just it's fine. Just like I said, that whole accountability thing. I don't see how it could be anything other than that. That's all.
It does come the accountability part. I think that
Yeah.
a lot of people it sounds weirder than when you lay it down, and when it's laid down and when you say it and you break it up like you just did, it's like, oh my God.
Yeah, well, I agree with you. So I think you make a great point here with the normalization in society, how people can kind of do all sorts of mental gymnastics, that they don't think the thing that they're engaging in is the thing they're engaging in. There's all sorts of societal pressures and this and that. But I don't think that that gives you a pass on the accountability front, right? So I think that recognizing that you did what you did, taking accountability for it, that's how you actually move past, the actual thing itself. That's what I think. Does that make sense? Or am I speaking in Spanglish here?
No, I agree.
Es muy claro.
Do you, like, do you
Es muy
regret it?
claro.
Yeah, I regret it because it was a hard point in my life. So
Yeah, right. But that's not accountability. That's a justification, right? Not accountability. It's like, yeah, I regret doing it, but here's my justification for why. It's like, really?
Well, I won't
So
do
for
it
instance, so let me kind of like give you a little bit of pushback here. If anybody came to you who's a friend of yours who's a Christian and said, think about engaging in prostitution, would you allow any justification for it?
no.
No. So I mean, that's that, right? So there's no reason to ever make the justification, just the responsibility aspect, and that's what will always make you stand out from my perspective.
You hear one, take one, and so I think that like
You had a sugar daddy, correct?
I've had, yeah.
More than one?
Yes.
Were you a dancer too?
two is crazy.
Okay,
I can't dance, unfortunately.
fair enough. By dance, you mean stripping?
Yes.
Okay. How many sugar daddies have you had?
I don't think I've ever really kept count. I mean, to me, a sugar daddy is just anybody that pays you for like your time. So I did go through a phase where I was on a website where, no, it's different. It's called whatsyourprice.com.
This is a new one.
Sponsor.
I've
used that
I have
one.
not.
She's like,
heard
"Oh,
of this.
you've had more than 5 sugar daddies.
Okay. So you've had a handful of
A lot.
More than
yes.
10?
Yes, definitely.
More than 20?
Well, yes.
More than 30?
Probably yes.
More than? Have you done?
I did it for like a year, so yes, I've
How many-
had
how many?
probably like
100?
yes,
No, 100.
yes. When they paid for your time.
100 different men.
Do you want me to tell you how the website works so that way you don't question
Yeah, yeah.
my like, oh my god, I'm rich? It was more so like on What's Your Price? It's like they agree on a date with you, right? So you
Yeah.
send either you send them or they send you a request where it's like $200 for a date, just first date. So then you can either accept or like ask for more, ask for whatever you want. So then once you guys agree on a price for that first date, you guys go
Yeah.
on a date, they pay you, and it's just for the first date. And then if you wish to continue or not, then that's different. So I went on a lot of first dates for
How
$200
many-
to $500.
Yeah, I'm looking at the website. It says 126 is the average offer amount. 56 million.
It is the
Does she
average.
look average?
I mean,
Five.
So it was never
5
like
million.
consistent. It was
I've
just,
only
like,
had
guys
probably like 3 consistent ones.
usually. Okay.
Okay.
What's your
Yeah.
price.com?
But yeah, the average for first dates is usually like probably less for most people. For me, my minimum was always $200 for a date.
And you said you went on over 100 dates.
I did it for a year, and I did a lot.
So what
yeah.
was this like?
How did you establish that? How did you establish that you expected $200 to be paid on the date?
Well, for me, it was just like I thought like 200 was like okay, like it's enough to pitch in for rent, bills, and all that. So I didn't
But-
really expect more for a first date.
Okay, so what was the average age of the men? Would you say that you were going on
30s.
dates? 30s. Okay. Of the and how many? You said over 100 different dates.
Probably, yeah.
Did you ever go on a second date with any of these guys?
Yes.
Okay, but it was 100 individual men that you went on dates with.
Yeah, throughout the year.
Okay, and did you date any of them?
Date isn't like actually wanted something
Like,
with them.
Yes.
No.
So your intentions to be on the app were
Make
solely
money.
to make money.
Correct.
I mean, this is not a very good endorsement of this this app, because the guys, I assume, want to go on a date. They're even willing to pay for it in the hopes of getting into a relationship. You went on 100 plus. Wait, question. So you said you went on like second dates,
Yes.
third dates?
Yeah.
Would you like? What's the most amount of dates that you went on with one guy?
I would say only 3 of them were like actually like, I would actually like see them more than once, like maybe like once a week.
Okay, and they would continue to pay you for dates, right?
Correct,
Would
yes.
they have to pay you more for follow-up dates or the same?
No, just the same.
And-
Sometimes they'd give me more
yeah.
though, depending on like what I needed help with.
Now, of the 100 plus men that you met from this website, did you sleep with any of them?
No.
Okay. And trying to think
It's
here.
a great website.
I've also used that.
But
website.
wait,
It's a good
so-
website. It's a really
Yeah.
good website.
Wait, you've used it?
I have used that website.
You didn't tell us about the website.
Well, I honestly kind of forgot about it. Like,
This is new to me. I've never heard about this before. I'm
Yeah.
surprised I haven't heard about it
I'm
sooner.
gonna go sign up later.
No, I ain't paying. I don't care how hot a girl is. I ain't spending a fucking dollar to pay. I ain't paying a girl to go on a date with me.
I'm always trying to realize
Fuck
like
no.
why they do it, but then it also
They're
comes with, like,
simps.
that, and I
They're
feel like if
fucking
they're already
simps.
spending money on a girl, like let's say when you're dating
God
regular,
damn, bro.
you're dating regular and you're
They're
putting
fucking
so much
simps.
money on, they're probably thinking like, well, I'm gonna spend this
Oh my
much
God.
anyways.
No wonder
on
all
a
these
girl.
I have a
girls
question. I
Okay,
have a
hold
question
on.
for the ladies. Anyone who's had a sugar daddy, do you like respect these men? Like when you are in their
Yeah,
presence?
just show of hands.
Like, do you
Yes, do you respect the men? Show of hands. If you don't raise your hand, really?
Yes, really, I respect them. You're
Respect.
putting money on it, so let's put some respect on their name. Like you're doing it out of your own will to do
you,
it.
you wouldn't date any of them, so you don't respect them.
Actually, just because I don't date you doesn't
well,
mean I
you
don't
did date
respect
the
you.
one guy, I guess, but he was still.
But that didn't mean I
innocent.
didn't respect him. Like there's a difference
Okay.
between respecting and like.
Okay, what about the
dating.
guys who come to the club? Do you respect them? Or are they marks or whatever?
What?
What are they called? Or no, that's for like
Marks?
prostitutes.
Oh, you're talking
What?
about
Mark.
John's.
Marks?
A mark, a trick.
Okay.
Oh my God,
John.
I've never heard
John.
of Mark, but like also the word trick, right? So you like think like when they go to the club, like or when you go to the club, like people are there just there to talk and mingle and stuff, but like
Yeah.
you can't go to the club and be like, I'm gonna make this a boyfriend. Like you're at the freaking
Sure.
club. Like
Okay. Wait, any of the guys that you talked about were from this website?
No, they weren't.
Oh, so you got more than. Okay,
I-
you were.
Well, I honestly forgot. I think
How
I
many
went on-
dates did you go on from this
I
website?
think I only ended up going on one, and like
Okay.
I like kind of started messaging a lot of them. And I feel like a lot of them knew that it was like never gonna progress to a second date. Like they knew they were just paying.
Yeah.
To
Pay for a
go.
date.
How much
Yeah.
did how much did it cost
I
for
think
you?
it was like only like $150.
And then
or
you've used this
something.
website too? Any other girls use this website? Okay. How many dates have you been on from this website?
like two.
Only two?
yeah,
One girl
only
over
two.
here went on 100.
Look, she's good at like, you know what I'm saying? Like, well, there's good things
Oh,
that you're at, and there's
shit.
good things that you're not at. Like, there's also like, it also consists of like
crazy.
messaging and calling and like making sure I'm
Okay.
keeping updated with you. Like,
There-
yes, this date's gonna
Can I ask a
happen.
question?
But then it's also like, okay, like, yeah, here's a date. Okay, cool. But like, you know.
So with these guys on this specific website, if you were to tell them up front that you're not interested in like anything long term or even like maintaining any sort of friendship or relationship, do you think that most of them would still have taken you out and paid you?
No.
Well,
Wait,
they can't really expect anything. They're going on a website called What's Your Price?
Right.
You
What does
really
that
exactly.
entail? Is that like, what's your price for me to take you out? Or is that,
100%,
like-
that's what it sounds like. That's like the marketing
Are
of
these
their
guys
What's Your
on
Price.
there for dating, do you think? Or like long term
They
dating?
want sugar babies.
Okay.
Oh
so
my
they
God,
just
these men
want
are
like
ruining
a,
the fucking
they
marketplace.
just want like a financial.
Yeah, I think
so
they know
bad.
what they're
Okay.
getting into.
Yeah.
Because most of them are unattractive. I've only seen like.
Oh,
Have you
fucking
ever
supermodels over
been
here.
with one, like, have you ever been on a date with a sugar daddy and you're just like instantly repulsed by them and then you feel like you have to like continue the date to like,
Yeah,
you know what
most
I
of them
mean?
are repulsive.
Really?
Just by virtue of them having to pay for your time
yeah, I
is
agree.
repulsive.
But I'm just wondering if you've ever had to like.
I saw it
sit
as like a second job. Okay.
Wait, I don't get. I don't
hard.
get.
Just
I
working
don't
hard.
get. Why don't these men just get prostitutes? I don't get it.
So that's
Oh,
the
they're just
thing.
as bad, I don't know.
A lot of them try to convince themselves that they're not like, oh, like I'm not paying for sex. I'm just like
Paying for your time.
paying for like your time, and if you want to have sex with me, you will because I'm giving you all this money. But it's like in their head, I think they're just delusional. Just how like most women are delusional. I think there's certain type of men that are delusional too. Like they
Yeah.
expect so much from a woman just because they take them out on a date,
Facts.
even if they pay them or
Well,
not.
wait a second. Wait, can we back off? Or back up just for a second.
Okay.
You have had sugar daddies, right?
Yes.
And you think they're delusional men, so you're taking advantage of delusional people, is what you're saying.
Yes.
And if a man were to take advantage of a delusional woman and have sex with her, would that be okay?
I'm not saying what I did was okay. I'm saying
No. Answer my question first.
No, it's
and then
not okay
qualify. No, it's not
for-
okay.
yeah.
Yeah. So why are you taking advantage of delusional men?
because it was a second job.
Oh, so if a man said, "Oh, it was a second job for me to take advantage of delusional women for sex," that would be a good justification, you think?
No, I'm not
No,
saying my
no,
behavior
wouldn't be a
was like
justification, would
correct.
it?
What I did was totally in the wrong, but I still did it, right? I'm
I have
taking
a que-
accountability for
so
it.
I have a question on this. You did say there were a couple guys who you'd go on multiple dates with. Were you kind of, I mean,
Manipulative?
Yeah.
Yes.
Like you would,
Fucking honesty.
Manipulated the delusion?
okay. So wait.
I manipulated
But so
them. You wanna
would
hear my story?
Yeah. So you would, knowing that you had no romantic interest, because you could kind of make the argument that you're like, you go on the first date and you're like, I'm giving them a chance. But usually for most people, after the first date, they made a determination as to whether they want to continue seeing this person or not, right? Most people actually make that up within 5 seconds, 5 minutes of first meeting somebody, but they'll usually continue on with the date to be polite. But you've had the first date with these men. Some of them you'd continue to have, second, third, fourth dates. Did you make the determination on the first date with these men that you continued to go on dates with, that you had zero romantic interest in them and that there would never be anything?
I didn't hear the first part of the question, but like no, like I didn't ever want anything romantic out of any of them.
Right. So, I mean, you were just doing it for the money.
For money, correct.
Because I could sort of get it where the girl's like, well, if I'm going to go on these dates, I disagree with it, but I at least want it to be worth my time. And maybe I will find a guy who I'll like, potentially. I'm open to the idea of dating one of these men who's paying this money. But I think and I'm not even prepared to even grant that that's the case for most of these women, even on the first date. But let's say it is. But it does kind of call into the question once you start going on multiple dates with them, where I'm like, okay, now you're milking. Now it's like there's not even a shot in hell, a chance in hell, any of these men have a romantic or sexual chance with you. And so that's a bit of a quarrel I have there. Where it's
Well, the
like,
one that I
I
did
can at
wanna
least
date-
give you a pass if you're like, well, I'm giving them a shot for the first date, but I'm still not giving you a pass even for that. But if I'm being charitable, I will.
Okay.
But I'm not.
But why would I give them like a shot if I'm not attracted to them?
Well, don't they have their photos on the thing?
Yeah, but like what
So
I'm
why go on
saying
a date
though
with them?
is like, so like after I go on the date to like obviously make money, why would I continuously give them a shot if like I'm not attracted to them?
And if it was just for the money too. Yeah, I see your point.
But you would, I guess I'm kind of getting at is, would you lead them on, because it takes two to tango, right? So you have to want to continue to go on the dates to make more money, but they have to continue to want to go on the dates because they think it will be in pursuit of a potential romantic relationship.
No.
So are you essentially playing a game where it's like you're feigning romantic interest in them?
No, they want, at the end of the day, most of them, like I know they wanted like sugar babies, right? So this was when I was like 19, 20 at the time.
Okay.
Most of them just wanted sexual encounters without like having like, in my opinion, I think they just didn't want in the back of the mind that they were going to a prostitute. I think they wanted to like believe that they were dating the person that like they were gonna hook up with. Like I think all of them wanted to hook up with me, and I did give them the idea that like, because my whole facade was that like I was super religious and I was like gonna be interested in like
Facade is
dating them.
crazy.
That was my story. That was like my story. I would tell them like
Oh,
I'm
so
looking.
yeah, it was
I
an
would lie to them. Yeah, I would lie to them saying like, oh yeah, like
boy.
I want to date you,
Okay.
and like it can become sexual, like if like I want to be in a relationship with you.
okay. Oh, boy, man.
So at the end of the day, like I feel like they were working towards that. Even though like I mean for me it was just like all a lie. And then for one of them, I mean I think he deserved it because he was married. So like that's the one that like.
You milked him.
I milked him
milked
because
him?
he had a whole
You
ass
milked
wife.
him.
He
You
wanted
should learn
to
your lesson.
What's that
Learn your
saying?
lesson.
What is that saying? A fool is parted with his money or something? I don't know. I mean, and me and Andrew have had a back and forth on this. We agree. I mean, I don't think men should be using these services, and they're kind of, I think they're stupid if they do use them.
They are.
But obviously, there's also manipulative women on these services. So,
What's what they get, right? I mean.
well, no.
No, that's not what they get. So,
I don't think
this
it's
is
that.
this is what I mean by kind of this like double standard woman speak that drives me fucking crazy. Just mere moments ago, what I did was wrong, Andrew. What I should not have done that. This was incorrect. This was immoral. This was bad. And then literally, 10 minutes later, that's what they fucking get. So you got to make up your mind. Is that what they get, or is it that you were doing something that's bad? Like, which one is it?
I think it comes to a point like nowadays it's a little bit more
Let
like
her answer, let her answer.
accessible.
Hang on. Let her answer. Which one is it?
Answer.
I feel like that's a tough one because, like, at the end of the day,
You feel
it's
it's a tough
like
one?
everyone's actions, right, is like has consequences.
That's consequences?
Consequences, yeah.
Oh, consequences. Okay, gotcha.
Consequences,
Go ahead.
right? So it's like their actions of like paying a woman to like go spend time with them, like that deserves a consequence. That like you might get played. Like, I mean,
You said that. You said that these men
you would think
are
they were
delusional.
smart enough. They build businesses, right? You would think they like a business model to get people in, right? Marketing, all that. So it's like, why would you pay a woman to like go on a romantic date?
Well, wait. It's really funny to me that now suddenly there's some justification here where you're saying, well, wait a second. It's actually really tough for me to decide if what I did was wrong or
No, it
incorrect
was
or whatever. Where, hang on, let me finish now. Whereas just a few minutes ago, you said, wait, these men were delusional and it's wrong to take advantage of delusional people. So I would like to know how this isn't a complete and total contradiction, because that's exactly what it sounds like, is a literal contradiction everybody can see. Can you tell us which one is correct? Instead of continuously contradicting yourself, can you just tell us, are these delusional men that you took advantage of, or did they have it coming?
You can't say both, right? No? Am I wrong in
You
thinking like
can
both?
say both
Like,
if you
am I
want to
wrong for
contradict
thinking both?
yourself.
It's like,
Is it okay to take advantage of delusional people because they have it coming? That would be the entailment, right? So either it's okay to take advantage of delusional people because they got it coming because they're delusional, or it's incorrect to take advantage of delusional people. So it's got to be one or the other, right?
it depends on the situation. For their situation specifically, right? Because like delusional can be like in different terms, like different people,
Oh, really?
right?
Well, I'm sorry. I thought delusional means disconnected from reality.
Okay.
Is that,
So-
would you agree that that's what delusional, what else could delusional mean
Well,
besides
you know how like
disconnected
women are
from reality?
delusional with like with like men and like
It's gonna be a perfect
dating.
relationship and stuff like that.
Yeah, like women can
disconnected from the reality?
justify a lot of like men's actions because they're delusional that like they think like he really means one thing when in reality he doesn't.
Well, hang on. Let's back up real quick. Let's just make sure we get this down. Do you agree with me? Do you agree with me that delusional means disconnected from reality?
It's what that comment says, the blame versus fault. I think that makes perfect
Yeah,
sense.
forget the comment. Do you agree with me that delusional means disconnected from reality?
Yes.
Okay. And if somebody's disconnected from reality, do you think it's okay to take advantage of them because they don't understand that they're being taken advantage of because they're delusional, they're disconnected from reality, right?
No.
No. So then if that's the case, how could they have it coming?
I guess it's just more so my bias against these men that just pay for women.
Oh, okay.
So I think it's
they
just my
don't-
bias. But
I don't understand. So do they have it coming or don't they have it coming?
They're for sure not coming.
no. Well, yeah,
No.
like the right thing to say is no, yes.
Okay, but is that what you believe?
No.
No. So you do think they have it coming even if they're delusional. So I just want to let you know there's some entailments there that you should know, right? That means that if there was a woman who was delusional, let's say, was disconnected from reality, if a man took advantage of her for sex, what would your objection then be?
It's just bias, right? So it's just like, no, I don't like agree with that, but
Oh, you don't agree with that. So now you have a complete double
correct.
standard and you're
Correct.
contradicting yourself
Yes.
again, right?
But who doesn't have a double standard, so.
Many people don't have a double standard or many people don't move into contradiction territory, especially. I can understand even if you said I'm hypocritical, I can even deal with that, but this is literally just a contradiction in terms. It's a contradiction to say it's wrong for you to take advantage of somebody who's delusional. It's just okay for me to do it because I want to. I don't understand what you're actually saying here.
I'm saying, like, those men, like, that are delusional and paying for women, like, it's okay to take advantage of them. But what I'm saying though is like for a man to take advantage of a woman or vice versa in like the dating realm, I don't think it's right. So like, because it can be vice versa. Like a woman can take advantage of a man too.
Let's back up again. In what fucking world could that ever make sense? In what world does it make sense to say it's okay to take advantage of delusional men for money, but it's not okay for men to take advantage of delusional women for sex? In what fucking world can you square these two ideas?
Well, they have the money to spend anyway, so.
She has the sex to give anyways.
Yeah, but it's more like, well, not for every woman, but like some
Yeah,
women
but not
would
for men.
consider that like.
So like every
An
single thing that
emotional-
you say, every single thing you say can just be applied right back at you, right? It's like, oh, well, they have the money to burn. Well, women have the sex to give. Oh, well, they knew what they were getting into. Okay, well, then they knew what they were getting into. It's like all of these things can be applied in both aspects. So either it's wrong, you did wrong, and you took advantage of delusional people, and that's incorrect, or you have to bite the bullet that, wait, it's just okay to take advantage of delusional people if you have some motivation that's self-serving. So I just really need to know which one it is.
Graffito tagged donated $200.
Hey, good to see you
You
back
offer
in
a
the chat.
service, have a verbal agreement, and the customer then pays for that service. You now admit you never intended to fully provide the service offered. That's the definition of a scam.
But I don't want to be derailed by this because it's worse. It's actually worse.
Right, it's worse.
Because it's a contradiction in term where you are saying actually that delusional men have less value than delusional women. That's what you're actually saying. Delusional men, less valuable than delusional women. Right? Isn't that what you're actually saying?
I guess, in a way.
But then if she was a man and then doing it, it would be like the same thing. It'd be contradicting. She can't really give the standpoint of a male if she's not in that position. So she can say like, oh, it's delusional for a man to do that. But like, she can't say it's delusional for a woman because it's not like she's getting paid from women to do it. If it was a
We
woman,
don't need her to. We don't need her to take it from the. Well, you're correct in a sense. I don't need her to take it from a female perspective. I need her to take it from a male perspective, right? So the ask here is from your perspective, that of the woman. Is it okay for men to take advantage of delusional women for sex? The answer is no. Then how could it be okay to take advantage of delusional men for money? The answer is I don't fucking know. So that's why I'm just like, well, can you reconcile these two things so they make sense to me?
Like it's money, like it's different, right? So, and well,
It's different.
in my opinion, right? It's like it's not like I'm making them spend millions, right? I'm not making them go broke. When a man lies to a woman to get her into bed, like I feel like they're
Versus
messing.
lying to
They're
him for
messing.
money?
Huh?
Versus lying to him for money?
Correct. Yes, I think it's like.
Why is there? What is the distinction here? I don't understand.
So when a man lies to a woman to get her into bed and like makes her think like she's like the only one or et cetera, it's like that's like feelings, emotions, and trauma. A guy that I take money from is not going to be traumatized at the end of the day.
because they know what they signed up for when they signed up
no,
for it.
wait. I'm sorry. Hang on.
That's what I was meaning by all of this.
Why do we? First of all, we have a bunch of suppositions here that need to be attacked, right? So the first one is, how can you say that this would always come from trauma if a man is taking care or a man is exploiting a delusional woman for sex? You could never make the claim that that is traumatic. while at the same time saying that it could never be traumatic for a man to be exploited for money. How in the world could you ever make those claims?
Because how would a man be traumatized for losing $200?
Because they feel like they were taken advantage of the same way a woman would if you lied to her for sex, right?
No.
No. Oh, no. No.
Can a man
Okay, so
really be
can you give me the
traumatized
counter
for-
to that besides no?
You have a different perspective?
But yeah, so
No,
this
no,
man,
no, let's not get into your perspective. Let's finish our conversation. So I'm not going to let you duck out of the convo so quickly, unfortunately for you. So can you reconcile these two positions for me?
I thought I explained myself already. Where
No, I think you didn't really explain yourself at all. I want to know why it's okay to take care of or to take advantage of delusional men, but not delusional women. I actually do want to know why that's okay.
I explained it because like taking money from a guy where it's like little money, like I don't see that being traumatizing, especially since they.
What about a little bit of head? If a woman just gives you a little bit of head, if she just gives you a little tiny, like she just puts the dick in her mouth for a couple of seconds, right? Is that that's not really taking that much advantage of her, right? She only put it in her mouth for a couple of seconds, right?
Or she only has sex one time with the guy instead
Yeah,
of
it's not really
once.
taking advantage, right?
It's just one time.
She just licked the tip. She just licked the tip. It's not really taking advantage, right?
How does that correlate with $200 for a date?
Because the exploitation is the same. It's the same metric. The idea of the same metric is it's okay to fuck this guy over because it's a small amount of money. It's like, okay, well, then it's okay to fuck her over because it's just a tiny amount of head.
Tiny amount of sex.
Yeah, but it's not.
Tiny
But
amount.
it's not realistic.
Yeah, it is realistic. Men take advantage of delusional women for sex. You would agree that that's true.
No, but
women are taking advantage
little
of
bit of head is
delusional
not realistic.
women are taking advantage of delusional men for money. How is this not correlated in the dating market, especially since you just got done telling me all of the different times you took advantage of men you consider to be delusional for money? How is this not correlative?
Because they just don't correlate with each other.
No, because well, they're not because they're not. Great, perfect. You helped me reconcile the two positions. Thank you so much.
But wouldn't you say, though, Andrew, that both parties are to blame in that? Or, like, wouldn't you kind of hold both parties accountable for that? Because I feel like they're both kind of the same, the same level, I feel like.
I think that you as a person who is not a mentally deranged lunatic, and knowing that you're not a mentally deranged lunatic and are dealing with a mentally deranged lunatic, have a higher duty to not do the wrong thing, specifically because you're not mentally deranged. When you acknowledge the fact, you acknowledge this is delusion, this is wrong, this is incorrect, they have wrong think, they're not engaging with the world properly, you know for sure that you're taking advantage of that person. That's where the problem comes in, right? So I don't know any of you. I know now for sure that the woman that I just talked to in the orange is totally delusional, right? Just like incomprehensibly delusional. So I know that it's no longer responsible for me to continuously harp on the idea that she's living in all sorts of performative contradictions because it's clear that she's not living in the same reality that I am. So I just move the conversation on, right? Because what else can I do? When you're dealing with somebody who's delusional, what else can you do? But I'm definitely not going to be taking advantage of her for money or taking advantage of her for, any other thing. All I would ever try to do is try to get her to reconcile the contradiction so she wasn't fucking delusional anymore. I think that is the best thing I could ever do, right? What else could I do?
Interesting.
Stop being fucking delusional.
Interesting. We are going to move on to something else here in just a sec, but it is all your guys' stories on this. I do kind of think, comparatively speaking, that women have dating and life on easy mode compared to men. Anybody, any bites on that?
I agree. I totally agree.
Oh, okay. All right.
It's
Yeah.
easy being a girl for the
It's
most part.
really great being
Well,
a
that's why,
girl.
like, for example, like OF is like such a big thing now because I feel like back then it wasn't, and like now, like when you say like entertainment, like I feel like that's such like a big thing now.
Wait, sorry, OF, what?
OnlyFans, like,
No, I know what it is, but how does that pertain to?
like delusional, like men pay for that too. So it's like
Yeah, there's Sims. But I'm curious, it's just like crazy to me because, so going back to you, how much money do you think you've made from that website?
Not a lot. I
Well, you
wouldn't
went
say
on
so.
over 100 dates. Your average, your price was $200. 200 times 100 is 20. Is that 20,000? My fucking
That's
math here.
2,000.
No,
Right?
it's,
No, am I wrong? Oh shit.
it's
Am I wrong?
20,000.
Oh yeah, you're right.
20,000.
Oops, I was thinking something else.
20,000.
Not good.
And it's like, this was over the course of a year? Okay.
That's like
I
below
mean-
poverty. So
Well, yeah, but it wasn't your only source of income.
how do you know that?
Well, maybe it was, but I mean,
You said it was like a
second job.
Yeah.
Contradicting.
It was like a second job.
yeah. So,
I guess.
but what's interesting to me is like, any girls here have adult brothers?
Yes.
Damn.
Yeah.
Only child.
That's it.
Wait, adult brothers?
Adult brothers.
Like older brothers?
18 or over.
Okay, yes.
Yeah. Like, so your brothers would be kind of like, to some degree, your, at least approaching or close to your looks equivalent, right? And it's like the sort of attention that you're going to get from men, it like completely dwarfs the attention that your brothers are going to get from women. That's always an interesting thing to me is like you can take a girl who like has insane sexual optionality. She can make money through her looks or whatever. And like you look at her brother, who is her genetic counterpart in a male's body, and they are like, can't get a girlfriend. It's crazy. Like you look at, it's just wild to me, kind of the differentials here between men and women, even looking like within their own genetic, similarity when it comes to a brother. So
Do you have a sister?
I do, yeah.
So like, what would you do if like she did that? Like, do you find it harder to date for yourself than it is for your sister?
I mean, me and my sister are very different people. I would suspect, though, for example, if my sister was inclined to have a bunch of casual sex, she could get it way easier than I could,
And why do you think that is?
because she's a woman.
Do you think it's like the womanly part? Do you think it comes with like personality? Do you think your sister is more like fun than you are?
You
or
think personality has anything to do with a woman's ability to get laid?
yeah, I do think so. I think confidence is a big
No.
one. Personality.
Look,
if
you
if you
can-
look like sad and like depressed and like boring, like you probably won't be as approachable as a
Yeah,
girl that's like fun
sure.
and like blah blah blah. You know?
Yeah, that's sure. I mean, a woman who's more approachable and who's got a more positive disposition, I'll grant you that she'll be able to sleep with 10 men in a day instead of 5 men in a day. But it doesn't really, like, you can still get laid very easily as a woman.
Is it because men have like lower standards than women?
That's part of it. Also, men have to be the pursuers, but you think that do you think it'd be pretty equal between men and women when it comes to getting laid?
Getting laid
Yeah, getting laid.
specifically?
Yeah, having sex.
I don't know, because like for girls, it's not a thing to like pay for sex, but a guy would pay for sex. Like, let's say you want to bring up prostitution,
Right.
like it's more prone or statistically proven that a man is more likely to pay for prostitution than a female is, right?
Yeah.
Because it says what you're saying, like girls are easier to get laid. Okay, yes, but I wouldn't say that it's dependent on like a male or a female. Like I think that like it's just at this point, girls just probably have it a lot easier because like of the things all around. But
Wait, I'm a little confused here. So are you agreeing or disagreeing? when
I
it
totally
comes
said
to-
that I agree. I agree.
Oh,
I agree with
okay.
you 100%.
Yeah. Okay.
Men just need to have higher standards, and then women wouldn't.
Wait, no, but if men, hold on. So if men had higher standards, it would be harder for them to get laid.
But you said that you agree with the men having lower standards.
No.
Sure.
Well, the only reason
Men
women
do have-
get laid is because men have lower standards, right?
No, that's not true.
So what are the standards for men if you
It's
like
not
think of a
because
realm of
that.
like
Yes,
it's,
it is.
It's not because of that. It is true that men do have lower standards,
Okay.
and it is also true that women have a much easier time getting laid.
But why
it's
do
not
women have an
because-
easier time? Why?
Why?
Because men want to have sex with them.
'Cause
But
why?
the thing
Does it
that's
look
really
good?
funny is like, okay, fair enough. You can say men should raise their standards on women before they have sex with them. I agree. I think that they should. But shouldn't women lower their standards when it comes to marriage and long-term relationships with men so they don't end up being fucking cat ladies, which so many are ending up being in their 40s or ending up being cat ladies?
What do you think,
I
34-year-old
love
lady?
cats. I have 2 cats. I love them. What do you have against cat ladies?
won't be the only pussy.
Well, seemingly, at least this is the perspective that I see, is that these cat ladies, and I'm guessing that you have multiple cats.
I have 2.
Is that correct?
Yes, I do.
Yeah. Yeah. What are their
Damn, you
names?
fit the- that's the
what are your cats'
stigma.
names?
My cat's names, Reggie and Wills.
Reggie. So you gave them people names.
I
You gave them
did.
people names.
Nice, strong Englishman names.
You didn't even give them animal names. You gave them person names, right? And
did.
so this kind of actually shows the void, right? The void of the idea of no children, so I make these like fur babies and I give them people names and then I anthropomorphize them into people like Disney does with Bambi right now. The deer can talk and it's like a person. Women do this all the time, but ultimately they seem to complain incessantly about it by the time they're in their late 30s and 40s when they go, oh shit, I don't have children and can no longer have children. What the fuck do I do? And you know what the answer is? Nothing.
with your
There's nothing
kitty?
you can do. It's done.
Play with the
Maddie, we got to read a couple chats. Go ahead.
As a 66-year-old man, it gives me some hope that you do what you do, Brian. Remind me of my son.
Oh, thank you, man.
Andrew, always a pleasure to see you in debates. It's great to see young men bring forth facts and truth.
Hey, old man, Mr. Peace. I think this is your first time sending in the message. Really appreciate the message. I remind you of your son. That's kind of
And the $100.
little wholesome moment.
And the money.
Thank you, appreciate it.
Scam too?
No, it's not a scam because they know exactly what they're paying for, and they
Oh.
receive what they're paying for.
Oh, like what's your price?
So prostitution
not-
is
no,
okay.
not the same.
Because they know what they're
I'm
paying
sorry,
for. So
I'm
if you
sorry,
pay for a
I'm sorry.
blowjob, that's okay.
I'm sorry, hang on, let's back up. Did Brian describe his audience as delusional? No. Did you describe your Johns as delusional? Yes. Do you understand the distinction?
Yeah.
You described these men as being delusional. So you knew that they were not right in the head. Did Brian describe his audience as being delusional? No.
I said
So
that.
these things do not map on at all.
In fact, I even describe my audience as they're absolutely 300 IQ, impervious to any sort of hoodwink or scam or razzle dazzle, impervious to it. They're all Giga Chad, super intelligent, Rocket's surgeons.
Except Giovanni.
Yeah, he's an attorney.
He-
Go ahead, Maddie.
He's a real piece of shit, that Giovanni guy. Don't send in any more
lied.
fucking super. Giovanni, you're just scum. You're the worst.
Go ahead, Maddie.
I would lie to them to steal their money. So funny and cute, teehee. Oh, but the one was married, so I contributed to his infidelity, teehee. Literally a foul demon.
Foul demon.
You foul demon. It was very
Foul
demonic, not
demon.
Samira.
Oh, right. And then Maddie, this one.
I have a question for Andrew. I'm 17. I'm from Australia, and what does the Orthodox say about smoking weed? Because I'm thinking about putting him on self to Christ, but I don't know about weed.
Huh?
Really? Yeah, you're going to risk eternal damnation so you can smoke marijuana? That's kind of stupid on the outset, right? But there are exceptions which are made within the church, I'm told, for people who use marijuana for certain purposes, especially medical purposes. But genuinely, it tends to be frowned upon by the church, and why wouldn't it be? But this idea that, like, well, I have to have my weed or else I'm not going to enter into eternal salvation, it's like, well, then don't, dude. I don't care, right? Go to hell then, as they say.
All right, we have a question from Stifler. Ask everyone to rate their looks on a scale of 1 to 10. You can't pick 7. I'm going to start with you.
What's my name?
Liz, I think?
Yeah, it is, Brian.
Okay.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Looks just like physically.
Mm-hmm.
So if you were to see me, how would I see myself? I would say like a 9.
Okay, all right. To you then? I'll get you all, but.
I'll go by the number that most people give me, 8.
8, okay.
Or 9.
Oh, wait, let's go to you.
I would say 8. I mean, yeah.
Okay.
Like a 6.
What?
6.
I don't think that's a bad number.
Into the mic.
Beautiful.
6.
Okay.
Under these lights, I look pasty. I would say you can't. Why can't you say 7?
Don't pick 7.
Why not?
Everyone picks 7.
Okay, 8.
7.5.
Final answer.
8?
Yes.
Okay, Maddie.
People are humbling me, so I'm going to say 6 now.
No way.
No way.
Was it from the IRL?
Brian, what would you say yours?
I've been getting so many DMs like, Maddie, you're definitely not a
Yeah,
dancer.
Damn.
No,
Brutal.
somebody
I'm
said
gonna say
earlier they were
6
like,
now.
you're like the most like non-catfish person. Like I think I started like I was like, who's Maddie? And then like you said Maddie, and I was like, okay, that's for sure.
That's nice.
I give myself a 5. Although I feel like I got to downgrade a little bit. I'm going to give myself a 4.5
Because of the higher house reading.
because of us. I
Two of
mean,
us.
yeah. I'm a 4.5 right
You were
now.
a 6 last year.
I gained some weight, so definitely downgraded. Andrew, what do you rate yourself?
3.5 without a beard.
3.5. Okay, downgraded. We're all downgrading.
I like the
Without
beard.
3.5. With the
Roman
beard,
hairy.
a solid 4.
Okay, there you have it. There you have it. So wait, 9, 8, 8. Okay.
Damn, don't humble me.
Wait,
'cause I don't care.
so you gave yourself the highest rating. Do you think you're the most attractive girl here at the table?
No, 100%. I don't think that.
Do you
I
want-
mean,
Just
actually,
would you say that that's insecurity?
actually no, because like I'm not here to compare, but I do think highly of myself, and I would say that I consider myself a 9, and that's just
Do you
what I
think that people who think highly of themselves, when that thinking of them thinking highly of themselves isn't warranted, would that be considered narcissism or possibly insecurity?
Oh my God, probably, but I don't. I mean, he just asked, what do I view
can you
myself
be the
as, and
most
that's
be-
what I view myself
Wait,
as.
I'm sorry. Are you the most beautiful woman at the table?
Don't compare yourself.
From your perspective, are you the most beautiful woman at the table?
I think we're all equally beautiful.
That's not even possible.
Erroneous! Erroneous!
How could it even be possible to state that you guys, literally all of you, are night and day in looks from each other? You look completely different. You have different facial shapes, different body shapes, different shapes across the board. How is that even possible to say? It's like saying squares and triangles and circles are all the same thing. It makes no sense at all.
Right,
It's
but
like
you're thinking,
gibberish,
you're
right?
asking for now my opinion on how I
Yes,
view
your
other
actual
people.
opinion, your real opinion, not your bull. Don't bullshit me.
I'm
The
not
truth.
bullshitting you. I'm just saying I think that I'm a fucking 9, and I do think that these women are beautiful. When she said she was a fucking 5 or 6, and I
So
was
they're
like,
all
damn, you
tens?
could have gave yourself.
You think it's just like the most beautiful women on planet Earth come to the whatever podcast that they're just all gorgeous, all of them, every single one?
I'm sorry, are
I'm
you
a
asking
great
me?
talent recruiter.
Yeah, is it just so happened
These Victoria's Secret
that
models.
since almost every woman on the whatever podcast rates themselves close to a 9 or a 10, that Brian just so happens to be a recruitment genius who only finds the most beautiful
Very
women on planet
talented.
Earth to come to his podcast? Is that what you actually think? Or?
Cream of the crop.
I don't think so. I think he there's obviously this podcast is for for content purposes. Like you want to get a range of everything, and I don't think there is like if you see a hard 1 or 2, are you going to bring her on the show?
Yeah?
Of course, that's what I'm
Yeah.
saying. So you bring
Yeah.
up everything. There's no
Yeah, I
there's
think
no
it's
Hard-
disrespect.
hang on. This is a great point.
Andrew, are you being
What if the
sarcastic?
what if the hard 1 or 2 rates themselves a 10, are they?
Then that's what you see yourself as.
Yeah, but is it true?
I don't know. I haven't seen a
Wait,
fucking
can you
1 or
rate
2.
me? Can you
Wait,
rate
no,
me?
wait, I'm sorry.
You
just
didn't give
said
yourself a
that
5.
there-
I wouldn't
hang
have
on,
given you a
hang on.
5.
You just said that there are 1s and 2s. This means that you, inside of your head, can categorize what a 1 or a 2 is. So
of
if
how
that
you
is
see
true,
yourself, of how you see yourself. So Andrew, what I'm saying is, if
no,
you see
forget
yourself
about how you
as-
see yourself. I'm asking how you see them. Not how you see fucking you. I don't care how you see you. I'm asking how you see
I wouldn't
them.
fucking know. There's no 1 or 2s at this fucking table.
I didn't ask you if there's a 1 or 2 at the table. I asked you if you're the prettiest girl at the table by how you see them.
That's crazy. I think that like
Shit.
it's like so
Like, had that
interracial. You
one-
know what I'm
We
saying?
all look so different.
Like you guys all look so different and like fucking fine. Like I'm not
Yeah, those are
bisexual
all
or
my
anything,
points.
but I think you guys are
Great.
like a 10. I
It's
don't even know what a 10
fantastic
would
that
be.
you're
There's no
reiterating
such thing
all
as
of my
perfect,
points.
but I
They
would
all look
definitely
different.
say
They're all different races. They're all different shapes. They're all different sizes. Perfect. So from your perspective, your worldview, you, the person who is you, are you the prettiest girl at the table or not?
Just say NA.
not applicable. I'm gonna keep, look, we can like agree to disagree, but no, I'm like,
How
okay,
are we gonna agree
okay,
to
fine.
disagree
Do you
when I
want my
ask you a
answer,
fucking
Andrew?
question?
Do you want my answer, Andrew?
Yeah, but
Yes.
hey, but I want the answer to the question I asked. And the question I asked
Do
was,
you think you're the prettiest girl at the
So
table?
I'm going to ask the question again, and then you can go off on your crazy ass diatribe that has nothing to do with the question I asked. Obfuscate away from it, pretend like you didn't hear it, lie your fucking ass off, but I'm going to ask it one more time. Are you the prettiest girl at the table? Now fucking lie to me.
No.
Okay, then who is?
Oh, that's a good question in the middle ground. I'm just like, I can't really pinpoint that. I don't have an answer for that because I
You
think
just know that you're not it.
I know that there's a lot of beautiful women here, and I'm
So you
saying
can judge that you're not the prettiest one there, but you can't judge the
because I
one
look
that
at
you think is the
myself.
prettiest
I
one
look at
there.
myself in the mirror every day, but I wouldn't say like you wanted my answer. That's my answer. I said no. So,
Yeah, I agree with you. No, fine, sure, I agree with you from your perspective. No, you're not.
You agree with me
But
that
if
I'm
you
not the
can
cutest
judge
one at the
you,
table?
If you can judge, hang on, if you can judge all of the qualities that make it so that you're not the prettiest girl at the table, then you should be able to judge all the qualities of what makes the woman at the table who is the prettiest, the prettiest. So
Well,
who
You
is
don't
it?
have to answer that if you don't want to.
I mean, I don't because I'm like, well, fuck. If there was
Obviously.
guys around the table, I'd be like, yeah. But there's like girls. So I
yeah,
can't
if
be
you're
like,
a girl's girl, you're not
oh.
gonna say like,
I
oh
know
my
who the
god, like
prettiest
she is
is.
pretty as.
Yourself.
No, I wasn't going to say that.
the fucking baby.
So hang on.
Who
So
you
let's
gonna say,
back
Brian?
up real quick. If
From a
you
male's
can judge,
perspective.
if you can judge, I'm not the prettiest girl at the table, then you have some metric that you're using that makes you think that there's other girls there who are prettier than you. All I'm asking is for you to apply that same metric and tell me which one you think is the prettiest.
I would say like that's why I probably don't have a definite answer, and I like the way that you're like making me think about it in depthly, and makes me want to change my answer because if I say no, you make me pinpoint to a point of like figuring out who is the cutest, then or prettiest, whatever you say it, then I would take it back and I'd be like, you know what, I am the prettiest at the fucking table.
Now, I want to show you something. Can you tell me who the top 2 prettiest are?
It's a trap.
I mean, no, my answer remains the same. You
Hang on. Can you tell me who the top 3 are?
no,
Top 4?
no.
You can't tell me who any girl
It's gonna
is.
insult someone,
wait,
so-
No,
wait.
and I'm not here to like try
Hang
to
on.
insult or not
Wait, hang
insult.
on.
I'm gonna
I just
keep
wanna
it
ask you this
honest.
last question. I just want to ask you this last question. Can you tell me who the top 6 prettiest are?
1, 2, 3,
worse.
4, 5, 6, 7.
You're gonna insult someone.
No, I
No,
don't
you can't. Hang on. But if that's true, then how can you say that you're not the prettiest then?
Well, that's what I just literally said. That you make me think about my answer when you can't okay, contradicting. You can't pick
Yeah,
somebody
it's
that's prettier than
contradicting. It
you.
makes no fucking sense
So
at all.
what I'm
If I just
saying-
gave you 6 options, you're the 7th. And you can't tell me
Exactly.
any of the girls who are prettier than you, but you're not the prettiest girl who's there.
But
Do you
this is why I
realize
say-
how fucking insane that sounds to me? It sounds
But
like
this is what I
the
just said.
ultimate cope, the ultimate fucking nonsensical cope, right? Makes no fucking sense. Can you please make this make sense
Okay,
to me?
but like at the end of the day, I told you, okay,
Rate
you're
me.
right, and you can do that. Hold on, Brian, hold that tit. But what I'm saying is, I'm only saying, okay, you made me think about my answer, and I'm going to rephrase myself. Yes, I do think I'm the prettiest one at this table because that's how I see myself. So you can disregard everything else you say because I'm changing my answer because you made me think about it. So thank you, Andrew. Like, okay, I don't have somebody to pick, but if I can pin it point now, I see myself as a 9. You can ask me who's the prettiest one at the table. I am the prettiest one at the table.
Rate me.
Rape you?
No, rate.
Oh, chill. Hey, yo, pause.
Right.
I'm sorry. Rate.
Rate me.
I was taking my drink. A 7.
So if we were dating, you would be settling.
Whoa.
Looks-wise.
Well, hold on.
You
Where
said
did that
you're
come
nine.
from?
You were
Oh,
not.
hang on. If you're a 9.
Well, what is
So you're
what-
settling.
What
So-
do you mean? What do you mean? I'm settling. I never
Looks.
once said that's how I see myself.
Right,
That's
right,
not
no,
how
yeah.
I see
No,
somebody else.
Yeah, that's totally fine. That is totally fine that you see yourself as a 9, but you see me as a 7. So if we were dating, you would be settling for me.
No, there wouldn't be settling because there'd be prior conversations and why like.
What do you mean?
Like we're sitting down. Okay, I think you're a 7, but you said if we were dating, I wouldn't fucking know because we've never dated or we never you know what I mean? I can't put myself in that
Wait,
position.
Well, let's
to be that.
try this a different way. Let's
Like-
just see if you and I can actually level with each other. We just level with each other. So let's say you and I were in that podcast. The podcast is done. Everybody has left. We're just sitting there. We're having some chit chat. And I was like, What the fuck are you talking about when it came to this rating shit? Makes no sense. Clearly, you judged everyone at the fucking table when you sat down, and they judged you too, and you know it's true. We all fucking know it's true. Why wouldn't you just give an honest answer? Isn't the truth that the reason that you're having so much trouble giving an honest answer to this is just because you don't want to hurt anybody's feelings?
Yes.
Isn't that really what's true?
No, I'm not even
Yes.
thinking that deep
No.
about it. I mean, do you have an opinion about it? Because fuck, you want to contradict me, but no, I don't want. I'm not hurting anybody's feelings. All I'm saying is fucking no. I don't think that, and that's just how I am.
No.
You can think that I'm lying, but I'm not. Like
I do. I think that you purposely don't want to hurt anybody's feelings. And so you feel like if you single somebody out and say they're the prettiest, it's going to hurt everybody else's feelings there. And so you refuse to do it. I literally think that that is what's going on right this second. Can you tell me with a straight face, look at me directly in the eyes and say, Andrew, that is definitely not what's going on. The truth
Andrew,
is,
there is
that I'm just
definitely not that going
obfuscating
on. If
and
there was
lying
an
my
ugly
ass
girl at
off
this
and
table, I
contradicting
would have been
myself
like,
because,
yeah.
Andrew, the reason I'm doing it, Andrew, is because this is what I really think. Go ahead.
this is what I really think. There's no fucking ugly girls at this table, and I even like foresaw because don't get
That's
me
not
wrong.
what
I've
I
seen a
asked
couple
you. That's not
videos
what I
of you
asked
guys trying
I didn't
to
ask you if there was any ugly women at the table. That's not what I asked you. What did I ask you?
if I'm the prettiest at the table.
I asked you who's the prettiest. Is it you? You said no. So who the fuck is it?
Rephrase. I definitely rephrased myself to being a yes. So you
So
ran it
you're
back
the
twice.
prettiest, so what
This is
makes
the
you
third
the prettiest
time for
girl
a
at the table?
clarification. I said
So
yes.
what makes you the prettiest? What makes you the prettiest?
I fucking just said the 9. That's how I see myself. Like that's
What does
how
that
I
mean?
see
That doesn't
myself.
fucking mean anything. I see myself as the king of France. Am I the fucking king of France?
No, but if that's how you see yourself, then
What
lose
is
the way.
I see myself as the God Emperor of all that I survey. I am the God Emperor of the Whatever podcast. I am the God Emperor of Santa Barbara. Is that true?
And that's how you see yourself.
Oh, so then it's true. As long as I see myself as
It's
the
your
God
opinion.
Emperor of Santa Barbara, therefore I am.
It's your opinion.
No, well, don't shut down. Don't be a brat.
Whoa,
and
shut down,
Engage with
Brad.
what's being
Oh,
asked. Engage with
wow.
what's being
Brad
asked.
and shutting
Is
down
it
sounds a
true?
little
Is it true that I am the God
egotistic,
Emperor of Santa
don't you
Barbara
think?
if I see myself as that? Is that true?
I think she's the fucking prettiest. Like what they said. Shit. Make room. Say hi.
Like
Rat?
anything to
You fucking
avoid
rat?
answering any question. Can you just answer my question? Is it true that if I say I'm the God Emperor of Santa Barbara, that I am?
Yes.
No.
Oh, okay. All right.
Because that's something that you say. Is it
Yeah,
factual?
so then it's true. It's
100%
true 'cause
it's
I say
not.
it.
Whatever you say, you're entitled to your opinion, but that doesn't mean it's true. Like
Yeah,
that's
that's
what
right.
you
It
think.
doesn't mean it's true. You're entitled to your opinion, but it
Right. So
doesn't
if I
make
think
it
that I'm a
true.
9 and you don't think that it's true, then that's fine. But I think that I'm a 9. The question referred to is how you see yourself. What would you rate yourself? Break it down, dissect it. That's what it fucking means.
That's what we're doing right now. We're breaking it down and dissecting it. And so that we're asking you, if you're a 9 and nobody else is rating themselves as a 9, are you fucking delusional? That's what the rating system
Am I fucking delusional? Let's ask the fucking table. Am I fucking delusional for thinking that I'm a fucking 9?
The table, like you, is going to fucking lie and say that you're not, even though we've just established that almost everybody here will lie to not hurt somebody else's feelings. So let me ask the table then, just to humor you. Is she a 9? Raise your hand if she's a 9. Go ahead. Lie to me. Yeah.
So you want a hand raise or you want to go one by one?
Yeah, one by one.
I don't think you're a 9, but I don't think that's bad. It's not a bad thing.
Right. I mean, we didn't ask how bad or good it is. He's just asked, like, do you think I'm a 9 or not?
No.
Okay.
I don't know.
Hurt my
I don't-
fucking
I don't
feelings.
know.
She's like,
I'm not sure. Suddenly, the
I will
way that
guess.
I rate all other human beings that I engage with has suddenly fled from me. I no longer have any idea of what beauty means or my standards for
Ask
beauty.
Jack.
Suddenly, all of my stature for everything I think has flown out the window. Okay, next.
I don't think it's wrong to not want to hurt people's feelings, first of all, but if we're doing a physical analysis based on my standards of beauty, I would not rate you a 9. I think you have a very pretty face.
Face is crazy. Face card valid?
That doesn't actually answer the question.
No, I said I don't think
Is she
I
a
would
9?
rate
her
a 9.
standards
On my,
of physicalities.
Of my ideal beauty standards, I would not rate her a 9. That's just my
Great. What's your rater?
We're going on. Yeah, okay. What would
I
you
mean,
Hang on, let
I
her
think
answer.
it's kind of
What-
brutal.
what's
I'm
your
not
rater?
interested in dating women, so.
Facts. That's what I'm saying. You can give your opinion on a man and a woman. That's
hang
kind
on,
of fucking weird.
hang on. I'm so confused. She's not a 9, but you don't know how to rate women? That's super
No, I
weird.
didn't say I don't know how to rate women. I just said I'm not
Great,
interested
rate
in
her.
dating
What
them.
is she?
So what is the point?
What is her rating?
I think it's mean to do this.
Oh, it's mean.
Be mean, it's
okay, I can
swallow hard.
So,
Okay,
so then
all right.
wait. So then Andrew Wilson was right, and you won't give a real answer because you don't want to hurt anybody's
But that's
feelings.
her or me.
but what's
I'm willing
wrong
to
with
accept
it,
that.
But what's wrong with not wanting to hurt anybody's feelings?
I didn't say there's anything wrong with it.
Okay,
I just
well,
want you to be fucking honest about it.
I'm
Just want you to be
admitting that I
honest
don't
about
wanna
it.
hurt
I
your
just
feelings.
want the honesty that I will literally fucking lie in order to not hurt feelings. That's all I'm asking for.
I'm not
Can you
lying.
just
I'm
say
not going
that?
to pump her up and say that she's something that I don't think she is, but I also don't think it's necessary to.
To tell her
knock
what you do
down.
think she is. Yeah, you don't think it's necessary to answer the question in an honest way because
I
you think
answered
it'll
it. I
hurt their
don't think
feelings.
she's a
All you
nine,
have
and
to do is say, I'm willing to lie to not hurt
not
feelings, and
lying.
that's fine. I'm willing
I'm
to
not
accept
making
that.
up an answer. I'm saying I'm not going to answer because I don't want to knock anybody
So
down.
you're proving
on
his point
this.
on your perspective.
Yeah, totally proving
She's
my
proving your
point.
she's
Anyway,
proving your
go-
fucking
go
point.
ahead.
Yes.
We
She's
can
proving
move
your
to the
fucking
next.
point.
No.
No.
Yes.
I'm also going to prove your point, Andrew. I don't feel comfortable talking about other girls' appearances, so I'm not going to comment on that.
Woo! Just like that. Now you guys all see. Now you understand. You understand that all of you will fucking lie in order to spare the feelings of the girl next to you, even though everybody who's watching this, including everybody sitting at the table, knows that this is not true. You're just unwilling to say what is true. You're afraid it's going to hurt somebody's feelings.
I don't think there's anything wrong with not wanting to hurt feelings
Yeah,
to
I
an
agree.
extent, though. I mean,
Right.
I don't feel, I know, but I just don't feel that it's necessary. But I obviously
that's
get what
great.
you're saying.
That's great how you feel. I love
Yeah,
how
I know,
you
you
feel. How
don't
you
feel
feel matters more to me than anything else on planet. I'm glad you feel that.
I know, me too. Thank you.
We're gonna read a couple chats. Maddie, can you read these?
Just remember, guys, the higher you go, the more delusional you are. This is a delusional scale here. Brian and Andrew are too modest with themselves. I rate both Brian and Andrew a solid 6.
Appreciate it. Thank you.
I did say 7, so you're welcome.
Appreciate it. Thank you. We have Who Cares? Thank you, man. We have Old Man Marine here. Thank you, man, for
Right to left, 6, 5, 6, 5, 4, 7, 5, 7. Morgan is a 9, my personal eyebrow rating. Maddie, good for you on claiming a 6. Stay humble. It's way more attractive than saying 9 or 10.
Hey, Old Man Marine. Thank you for the message, man. Really appreciate it. Thank you. Giovanni. Thank you, man.
If you're a 9, why is your dress above your belly button? Every other chick on the podcast has their pants/skirt below their belly button. Explain why it's so high and call yourself a 9. Delusional.
It's above the belly button. I don't get it.
Now, I just wanted to just very quickly point out before Brian moves the topic. I'm not really trying to beat you guys up. I'm just trying to show you something which is important from the male perspective that people miss out on all the time.
Oh, right.
That men don't have the luxury of lying to each other all the fucking time. We don't have the luxury of this, ever. And we're constantly brutal with each other because we have to, because men compete within a hierarchy. Women don't have to compete within a hierarchy. They only compete with each other individually. And so what happens is when I hear this kind of over and over, every single panel, right? Just the complete and total lack of honor. And then when I drill down, we find out, listen, the reason nobody really wants to tell the truth is because they're afraid it's going to hurt somebody else's feelings. I can even understand that. I can rationalize it. I just wish that more of you would be honest about it. That's all.
I'm really honest with my girlfriends who ask. One of my friends recently gained some weight, and she said all of her other friends were telling her that she looks fine, and she asked me my opinion, and I said, yeah, it looks like you've gained weight. And she was like, thank you so much. Now I'm going to work out and do something about it.
Listen to the caveat. Listen to the caveat here. The caveat is, if somebody comes to me for criticism, constructive criticism, I'll give it to them because that is being nice.
Yeah.
That is being nice. That's not how men operate. How men operate is like this. You fucked that whole thing up. You fucked that machine up. You don't know how to use a wrench. You're a fucking idiot. Get off the line, you fucking dumb fuck. What the hell were you thinking? That's how they correct each other. They correct each other by saying, you suck, you're shit, you're garbage, get better. And then when you're better, they give you compliments, but they're so rare that when you get one, you know you earned it. And so the thing is like, I just want to point out this kind of stark contrast, and why that relates to dating is because this contrast exists, where men seem to be able to be far more honest with each other, women far less honest with each other. That's all.
Have you guys done this with men?
I have.
We ranked ourselves, but
Just you two, or
I'm just going to do an analysis here of the ratings.
Do you have? Is that the DBZ? Is that the?
It's a scouter. It's a scouter.
I was going to ask that.
Yeah, y'all were your power, like where you think your power levels are, like you think you're like Vegeta, but y'all are like Krillin.
That's crazy.
You know what I mean?
No.
You know what I mean? Like you think you're Frieza, but you're like Yamcha.
You think you have a big
Chill
dick, but
out.
it's actually small? Chill out.
I am hung like a stud hamster. Thank you very much.
Stud hamster. There you go.
Stud hamster.
Oh, I have one more thing on this. So, do you think you will be better looking in 10 years' time?
No.
Okay.
Probably not.
All right. So
I've gotten better looking with time. Like I look
MILF.
better now than I did at 18, you know? So, but in 10 years from now, I'll be 48. I do have a girlfriend in her 40s that looks amazing, so hopefully I will, yes.
okay. So, better looking at 48 than now.
No, I'm gonna say this is probably my prime. I'm
Okay.
probably peaking right
And
now.
Were you are you better looking now than you were at 28 as compared to?
I think so, yes.
And then are you better looking now at 38 than you were at 18?
I would think so, yes.
And then were you better looking at 28 than you were at 18?
Yeah, I think so, yeah.
Okay.
Oh,
Do you have
oh,
any, it'd be
careful
interesting
about
to
that.
see like old photos or something. I don't know.
Yeah, I have old photos. My phone's up there.
Yeah. Or maybe we could. Well, maybe we do an Instagram deep dive. Be like, what happened?
I didn't get Instagram till like 2016.
Oh, okay. Well, better looking in 10 years time?
I'd be 35. I don't know if I had kids then by not, but
Wait, I thought you were 26.
oh yeah, 26. Sorry, 36.
Oops.
I mean, 25, 26.
Yeah, whatever.
36,
so better
whatever.
looking at 36 than now 26.
I mean, I was like better looking than I was like 18 for sure. So,
Better looking now than at 18.
yeah.
Okay. But better looking in 10 years time?
I would say yeah. I'd be like in my woman era. You know, like womanly grown. I don't know if I have kids or not, but yeah, I would. Yeah.
Okay, better looking at 20 in 20 years time. So 46 versus
46?
46 versus 26.
No.
Okay. Better looking in 10 years time.
I feel like I've looked the same since.
Asian,
Yeah, it's the Asian genetics. We don't really
Yep.
change.
I mean,
We do. Like
you do.
you
Once
can see the
you're 50.
maturity
Not
in my
as much.
face.
Probably not till we're like 50.
50,
50.
yeah.
Yeah.
50.
So maybe when
Eh,
50
but,
something like a truck, then
hold on.
maybe I'll be going down.
Look,
But
I'll grant that Asian women age well, but I can tell a 40-year-old Asian woman versus a 20-year-old Asian woman.
that's true. That's true. That's
I'm
why I said
also
I
going
went
to
her in the
dispute.
face.
I'm going to give the cultural dispute that Asian women do not age nearly as well as the stereotype says. I'm just going to point this out. That oftentimes, in fact, when Asian women get too old, they look like little gross pygmy people running around. I'm just pointing this out. And this is, by the way, I think that many people would actually agree with me on this. That this idea, this really hyper-inflated, over-evaluated idea that Asian women just get better with age is just that. It's highly overinflated.
So who ages more?
I don't think they get better with it.
Yeah,
So we're talking about like
Okay, then no.
culture.
I don't think any women really in any racial group really age very well, even in comparison to each other. I don't think that they do. I think that youth is generally valued in all demographics.
So 25, will you be better looking in 10 years time?
I think so, yeah.
At 35, what about 45?
No.
Okay. And then Lauren, 34, do you think you'll be better looking in 10 years time?
44. I don't know if I'll be
44.
better looking, but I feel like I'll look about the same. I take good care of myself,
About the same.
sunblock and fitness and good food and happy.
No sex.
Happy. Yeah, exactly. Yes, the virgin skincare. Delusional. I don't know.
Do you do, are you intentionally make yourself look like a vampire, or is that just...
Me?
Yo.
Yes, like the Volturi.
Are
we saying
put
Volturi?
you put like the red...
It's not red, but I know it looks red.
I'm gonna suck your blood.
It's.
Did I just insult how you actually
No.
look?
But especially under this lighting, I feel like I literally look like a vampire.
You don't wear any like red eyeshadow? It looks red.
It's more like a purple.
Oh,
but I can
okay.
see. I can see the red. Yeah.
It's got
I think
tint.
we're wearing
It's
the
got a
red as
hint
well. It kind of like
of red.
comes
I
out.
wasn't really looking
a
at your
little
eyes
bit.
deep enough.
Yeah, exactly.
So wait, better looking in 20 years time?
20 years.
Or
time?
you said you'd be the same in 10 years, so
I
the same in
think I
20
will.
years.
The same in 20. I'll be 54. 54. I don't know. I mean, who's to say? I'm not gonna say because I like to set an intention for myself. So you can call me delusional. That's okay. I don't know if I'll look. I definitely look better, but we're just gonna keep putting it out there that we're gonna look good
Are
as time goes on.
you better looking now at 34 than you were at 24?
I actually think I am. Yes, I would say that. I do believe that. Yes. Yeah.
All right.
Anna,
There's the answers to that one.
Mm-hmm.
Do you think women look better, like, when they're younger? Is that like your, like,
I think.
what you're
Well, actually,
implying?
I think.
Is that what you guys are
Yes,
implying?
unequivocally yes, of course.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
when you're young.
So it doesn't change the
Yeah.
fact, like, when, well, 10 years ago for me was, I mean, that's not bad, but like, since I was like 18, we'll keep it at 18, right? So from like 18, like, I would say to even like 22, I was just like fat. So, and I had no looks. So like me
Yeah,
saying,
but
like, I feel like I'm gonna get
exceptions don't
better.
prove the rule. Exceptions don't prove the rule. We
So-
can say, yes, there are some women who were much less good looking when they were younger than when they got older, but that's not going to be a rule which is true across the board, not even close. For the most part, the opposite is true. You would agree, right?
Yeah. So it's all else being equal. So if you were healthy your entire life.
Oh, okay. On those
rem-
standards. Okay.
And you remained in your best shape your entire life, then.
Yes, when you're
that's
younger,
kind
you
of
look
the-
better. Correct.
Yeah. So, yeah.
Do you
But
think
I-
you'll look better when you're 10 years from now?
No.
Brian?
No.
No.
How old are you?
35.
Oh, damn.
And I think I was better looking 10 years ago. So I think there's some differences between men and women on this one, but generally speaking, I'd say for most people, whether you're a man or woman, as you get older, you become less attractive.
I disagree though. I feel like some men age like fine wine. I think they look better in
Right.
their 30s and their 20s.
Some look good with facial hair, some look good without.
Well, I mean, there's another differential here. Moving off of like what I think is more of, like talking about objective beauty, there's appraisals of physical attractiveness. There's a differential there between men and women. So men, as they start getting older, even 20s, 30s, 40s, 50s, 60s, they will continuously, if you poll them, they will continuously say what they think is the most physically attractive tends to be pretty constant between like, it's around like 20 to 22 is what they deem like most physically attractive, even as they get older. However, as women get older, their appraisals tend to match up with their own age. So they'll say, well, the men that I find, or well, maybe 1 or 2 years older. So if you're 33, you'll say men who are about 35. That's what you find the most attractive physically. But so there is a differential there. I think there's a biological evolutionary reason for this. It comes down to, why is that funny? Is this too, huh?
This is too what?
Is it too, what's the word for it? Anyways, whatever. But Was there another question there? or-
No.
Actually, there was one man who I think aged like fine wine, to be honest. I saw this video. I don't know if any of you know this guy, Paul Wall. I haven't heard of this guy in nearly 20 years.
Paul Wall, the rapper?
Paul Wall, the white rapper. He recently was on tour with, like, he did a concert with Megan Thee Stallion, or I don't know who it is. And,
Oh, Sexy Red, I think, or was it like? I think it was like Glorilla.
He had a bit of a glow up. He's, he's looking good for 40 or whatever the fuck he is. He's
Can we
looking
look
good.
him up?
Yeah, we can look it up. Actually, it might be copyright or some shit. But good for Paul Wall. Congratulations. I guess. Do you guys even know who that is?
I fucking
What's his
don't
song? Hold on, I'll rap it for you guys. Paul Wall, what's his song? Sittin' Sideways.
He's in a
Wait,
Brooke Hogan
sit-
song from way back.
Sittin', still tipping on. Wait, that's Mike Jones. Hold on.
No, I know. Like rapping fofos. Is that that?
But that's a Mike Jones song. Back then, hoes didn't want me. Now I'm hot, hoes all along me. Okay. Still tipping on fofos. I'm gonna read the lyrics
I've
to the
heard it,
song
but I've never seen
as
the
white
picture.
as possible. Still tipping on fofos, wrapped in faux vogues, tipping on fofos. Wait, it just repeats. What the fuck? Hold on. I'm still tipping on fofo. Now look who creeping, look who crawling, still balling in the mix. It's that 6'6" long dick. Wait, I can't read that word.
Donated $200. Why do most
almost got
women
caught.
deny biology and the effects of time?
Oh
If you don't believe you age, you must have been bitten by last stats mistress in red. Pull up a pic from 18 in the mirror.
I do want
Compare.
to. Killer of cereal, thank you. By the way,
Well, I have a quick answer for this question to you, Killer of Cereal. It's called good old-fashioned American cope. That's what it is. That's it's not. They don't deny it. They do everything they can to avoid it. They put on hordes of makeup, plastic surgery, everything they can to retain youth, while at the same time pretending that youth is in no way important. It's the funniest thing that I've ever seen in my life, but it's just pure cope. Pure cope.
pure cope.
There's no woman here who would want to be magically aged 10 years older. If it had no negative life effects, meaning it didn't hurt you in any way, it didn't hurt you with heart disease, there was no disease of any kind, would anybody here, show of hands, actually want to be aged forward by 10 years? So that you look 10 years older than you are right now, even though there was no negative health effects, nothing negative towards the longevity of your life. Would any of you actually want to do that?
No way.
I would like to stay
No.
exactly at this age for the rest of my life and look just like this.
Took some MILF.
See, I think she looks amazing. So like 10 years ago, basically you were around like my age. So like if in 10 years I can look like that, I take that offer.
Oh, thank you.
When we were younger, you'd be like, I really wish I was 18 or 20. I don't think it was like a physical thing. And then when you're older, you like take actually like physicalities. So like, yeah, I don't know. I don't think so. I would be like, I want to be a hard 40. Like, no.
Word.
Yeah, no, right. No woman ever wants to really look older. It is kind of this insane cope where they pretend, oh, well, no, that's age just a number. Oh, beauty's in the eye of the beholder. But then you ask, would you like to be aged 10 years? Well, fuck no, I don't want to be aged 10 years older. It's like, come on.
I'm
Come
terrified of
on.
looking older. Like it really terrifies me.
Gray hair.
I don't dye my hair.
I'm gonna get into, or actually, Nick, do we have things to pull up? Paul Wall, you
What?
gonna pull up?
You
Paul
don't dye
Wall?
your hair?
You got Paul Wall?
No, I don't
You
dye
got
my
Paul
hair.
Wall?
Gray hair's
Nick, you got
genetic.
Paul Wall? You got Paul Wall? Let's see Paul Wall.
We're
Glow up. Wait, so on the far right,
He looks just like
that's
you,
like
Brian.
young Paul Wall.
And then where's
And then I'm trying to find like older. Wait, scroll down a bit, Nick. Wait. Okay. So look at the far left.
Brian,
That's
it's
like
you with
young
the grill
Paul.
on.
And then the one where he's smiling, 3 down. No. One over. Here. Okay. And then Nick.
The scarf?
Click far left.
With the chain going up, yeah. Literally Brian with the
You
grill
click
on.
it so it's a bit bigger. Okay. Then scroll down here a little bit. No. Here on the left. No. Okay. You could just X, I guess. Yeah. And then the one where he's smiling, far left. Just below it. I think that's a glow up, dude.
Drugs, no drugs.
That's a glow up.
It's a glow up.
And he
It's
still
not,
got
like
the
best
grills.
glow up I've ever
He looks
seen.
healthier.
Tipping on fofos.
Yeah, I feel like it's because he's not on eats and stuff. Maybe.
Let's do Twitch, then do Discord really quick. Guys, go to twitch.tv/whatever. Drop us a follow in the Prime sub if you have on twitch.tv/whatever. Drop us a follow in the Prime sub. Guys, there's almost 2,000 people watching on Twitch. Thank you guys so much. Drop us a follow. And if you have a Prime sub available, guys, it's been, let's see, how long has it been? Where's the last Prime? 2 hours ago, boys. I think it's bugged.
Help.
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 I think it's bugged. There you go. Brian's teeny peen, bro. How you gonna, first off, it's average. Get it right. Second, how you gonna throw me under the bus like that, Brian's teeny peen? Thank you for the Prime. Rage ahead. Thank you for the Prime. Appreciate it, guys. And then let's do Discord really quick, guys. Discord.gg/whatever. If you don't know, me and Maddie, we went out to do an IRL stream on the mean streets of Santa Barbara. And we had to take it down. We had to delete it because this twat This twat in the pink polo here said some very, very, very TOS shit. Had to delete the whole stream because of him. If you want to see the clip, we can't post it on YouTube. We can't even play it on stream now. Go to discord.gg/whatever. You got to join. You got to join.
Or something, so we had to delete it, or like did they like delete it for us?
They didn't delete it for us. I preemptively deleted it just because you got to be careful.
What's
You got to
TOS?
be careful out there.
What's TOS mean?
It's like terms of service, like someone said or did something that's against, like, put your channel at risk. So
Talking out shit.
yeah. So we got to get through.
Gotcha.
What's up?
Are you on React?
What were some? Oh yeah, we got reacts. What are the reacts? What do we got?
The first one.
What do we have? What's the first one? Oh, this is going back to Lauren here. Lauren,
These reacts are bug boys. You got to send in the super chats, boy. The reacts are bug boys.
They're bugged boys. You got to send them in. I don't know what's going on. Like YouTube's just like being a piece of shit or whatever. The federal government. Thank you for the primate. Okay, Lauren, can you read these, please?
Yes. One of the biggest misconceptions about being a virgin in your 30s is that you are religious or saving yourself for a husband. But no one really knows what to do with you when you aren't affiliated with any particular religion and don't want to get married. LOL. The facts are, I believe in a higher power, and that's about as far as it goes. I'm humble enough to recognize I don't know everything. That doesn't mean I'm going to share my body with any old Joe Schmo, though. And being legally bound to someone through marriage is so not my dream. But would I do a committed long-term relationship should the right guy come around? Yes, I would. Stay tuned for part 7 in the series.
And then there's another one, Nick. We'll do that one too. It's like a Instagram page.
You want that sound of me?
There she is, ladies.
No, you don't have to play it. I mean, it's just
higher standards than a
no one has
thicker
higher.
skin.
Say this for us.
And no one has higher standards and thicker skin than a 33-year-old virgin. Radical feminist, so patriarchal. Ew, red pill bros, expired meat.
Word.
But it's true though. It's like I mean, I get it from both sides. You know what I mean?
No one has higher
Okay, so no, I'm going
standards.
to challenge this, right?
Absolutely.
I don't think it's true. I think that what you've created is a false dialectic, where you're paraphrasing what the position of each is, even though that's not actually the position. I don't think that any red pill bro would give a flying fuck under the sun that you wanted to retain your virginity due to the fact that you're just not attracted or asexual. I think instead the pushback you would get probably would be from the quote Christ pill bros who would just say, well, this isn't being done for the purpose of virtue, but just like due to quirks, right?
Yeah, I would say, I mean, I would just say going off of some of the comments from being on this podcast the last time, I would say that a lot of them were that I was expired because I'm in my 30s, although I don't want to have kids. And then I would say in terms of like the other side with the ladies, maybe like more the modern day feminists, I feel like I get a lot of that I have internalized misogyny, that I'm part of the patriarchy. It's like I'm part of the problem. So I do feel like I'm getting it from both sides.
Well, I think that there's a conflation which happens. I think that the conflation from the leftist side, the non-patriarchal side, is saying they probably assume that because you're promoting your chastity and virginity, that you are some kind of like right-wing patriarchist, and so they're probably strawmanning your actual position. I could see that as being true, but the red pill version of it, I can't see as being true. I don't see why any red pillar on planet Earth would give a shit one way or the other if you retained your chastity based on asexuality. Though I do think that an argument could be made from their end that if they're saying expired, they just mean, well, what's the point in keeping the chastity if you get past your 30s and are unable to bear children? What would be the point of the allure for a man who wanted children? Which I think would be a fair point, but yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I think that's fair enough. I think, obviously some guys aren't going to respect it if they want kids, and that's totally fair. I've been very open about the fact that I don't want kids, so I don't see the problem in it necessarily. But But I would say though, I don't think that I have less value as a virgin because I don't want to have kids and don't want to be legally.
Yeah, well, you would have significantly less value to men.
Well, that's fair. I mean, yeah, men that want that, of course, that's.
Well,
fair.
no. I mean, just most men.
Because I don't want kids.
Would be desirous of a virgin because of the paternal aspect of this, right?
Yeah, that's fair.
I think that would lessen the desirability. I understand kind of the play of both sides of hitting both sides, but I don't see how a red pill position, and I'm no red pillar by any means, by the way, but I do understand the position. I don't actually see why they would give a shit one way or the other.
Yeah.
Well, and I think honestly, the criticism from the red pill would be that your standards are too high. I think that would be the criticism, not that you're expired.
But there's standards, right? It's just like it's asexuality. What standards are we even appealing to?
Well, I'm not full-blown asexuality. I mean, like I said, it's not that I'm asexual necessarily. I just am not attracted frequently to people. So I guess, yes, you could.
Yeah,
categorize it as that.
there's a lot of qualifiers going on here, which are really hard to navigate. I'm not really, I kind of am, but I'm not. There's a lot of like qualifiers to navigate this idea. So we can consolidate the idea.
Okay.
Asexuality. I don't want to have sex with the opposite sex because I don't find sex and sexuality to be particularly appealing.
And that's where I would not consider myself asexual, because it's not that I wouldn't have sex with someone or find it appealing.
I'm not asking if you would or wouldn't, but generally speaking, you seem to stay away from it. because it's not like it has no real import to you. Sexuality itself is not of great importance to you.
I want to try to be as honest as I can. I feel like
Yeah.
it's not that I don't see the value in it. It's not that I don't want to have sex, but I'm not going to just sleep with someone to sleep with someone. Does that make sense? So if I'm not,
Yeah,
We've already
but that's
established this, though.
diverting. Oh, sorry. Go ahead, Brian.
No, I continue, but it's
I'm
we've
just
already
saying, it
established.
feels like that's a real big diversion kind of away from what I'm saying. I'm not saying you don't see value in sex. I'm not saying you wouldn't have sex. I'm saying that your attraction to men is almost negligible. It's almost not there, and you don't find sexuality personally to be of great importance to you, or really of any importance to you ultimately.
I understand what you're saying. Yeah, I mean, like I said, the right person, yes. I don't really know what to say other than that.
Wouldn't every asexual person say that?
I don't think so. No, I
If
think
the
they're.
person came along, I wouldn't be asexual
I actually-
anymore. Like, wouldn't that be kind of the great cope of all asexual people?
Well,
I don't
that's what
think so. I think
literally
they'll-
goes back to what we were saying. Like, if you don't know what it feels like, then technically, like, you would be considered that because you don't know what it feel like to
Right.
be indifferent from that.
Right, exactly. And I also feel that a lot of people who consider themselves asexual are sex averse and know for sure or grossed out by sex and wouldn't want to have sex. So I actually don't think that's
It's
true.
interesting. I've talked to several asexual people, male and female,
Mm-hmm.
and the universal that I found between all of them was the idea that if the right person came along,
Mm-hmm.
then I would probably break the asexuality, but they just never have.
That's fair.
And so I just don't really feel much in the way of attraction to people. But if I ever did, if suddenly I did find other people attractive, then I would. But aren't you just saying kind of the same thing? Isn't that really the same thing you're saying?
I guess. Yeah, that makes sense. I mean,
Wait, can we pull the article back up?
Yeah.
my article.
So it says in the article, so you're an only child, right?
Mm-hmm.
Can you scroll down, Nick?
Yeah.
To kind of keep going. Keep going. Okay, this part, can you read it, Lauren, from here?
As an only child, Harkins learned early on how to be content on her own and never actively pursued a relationship. And while her friends navigated the ups and downs of young love, Harkins, it's funny to call myself Harkins, was dealing with the death of her father, William, who passed away when she was a teenager. Harkins now lives primarily off her late dad's trust fund and has enjoyed an action-packed life of travel and adventure, saying sex simply wasn't a priority.
So, okay, well, this changes the context significantly. So, sex for you has never had to be a